Hello. I'm sick of seeing. Make it last forever. I'm gonna go to war. I think for Halloween, we should all dress up as cars. Because apparently seeing cars makes ice agents really spooked. It might keep them away. Because apparently every time ICE decides to shoot someone, every time they're just using their car as a weapon. What does this mean? That's not correct. You might have to hold their hands if you go to a car dealership. They get really scared. Okay. Master debating. Yeah. This is one of those difficult ones because you don't want to use words like evil to describe people, but this is evil. Right here. This is purely evil. Let's see. Oh boy. So we're gonna watch this press conference with JD Vance, and you hate this topic. You hate this topic because I don't like using words like evil to describe things because I think the world is complicated, and people have different motivations for what they do, different reasons and guidelines and whatever, different reasons for how they act. But JD Vance's press conference today was one of the most like, I don't want to use the word evil, but JD Vance's press conference today is pure evil, pure evil. Okay. He called Renee Good, the person killed by an ICE agent in Minnesota, a domestic terrorist, a part of a cell of trained left wing terrorists all across America. Deranged lies. Like the words you can use to describe this are going to sound hyperbolic. It's going to sound like hyperbole because of how bad it is. And just right here, JD Vance, for the first time maybe in American history, an administration is not going to tolerate political violence of any kind anywhere. 600 people assaulted police officers on January 6th. All 600 were pardoned. Okay. MAGA is saying Renee Good is a terrible person, disgusting person who deserved to die right now. They are saying that outright. Random person, not a public figure. They're just saying it. And by their standard, Ashley Babbitt to them from January 6th is a hero. Ashley Babbitt was charging through a police barricade. Okay. And an officer rightfully shot her. By MAGA standard here, when it comes to use of force, half the people on January 6th would have been gunned down right away based on an officer being assaulted. Pure lying. Pure lying.
When we get the
Okay. Let's get to it.
And to make an additional
lip injections
important announcement on this front. So please, Mr. Vice President, will be joining us now.
guys. Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you.
Great. Well, good afternoon, everybody. And I want to echo some of what Carolyn said about what we're doing to combat the rampant fraud that exists in our immigration system, thanks to failed politicians and thanks to people who allowed the American taxpayer to be taken advantage of for far too long. I think it's important to understand why this matters to the American people. I am a father of 3 young kids, a lot of kids, a lot of people in my generation. What is that going on there? Is that normal? Okay. CNN installed this broken camera just to throw me off my game, but it's not going to work. So here's the simple fact here.
Remember, Google the name Joseph Schwartz. Okay, this is somebody who was involved in a bunch of Medicaid fraud and other white-collar crimes, defrauding our taxpayer dollars. Trump pardoned this person because they donated to Trump. They were friends with Trump allies and the Trump family. Okay, so the corruption here is not the issue for them. Okay, I think corruption is bad from everywhere, from every type of person. Okay. But here in this press conference, JD Vance says, and I saw the headline earlier, he said America has not a corruption problem because they pardon corrupt people all the time. Trump does. JD Vance says America has a Somali problem. He says there's a Somali problem in America, a black problem in America.
You're a young parent struggling to afford childcare in the United States of America, there are programs that we have to make it easier for your kids to get in daycare, for your kids to get in preschool. Those programs should go to American citizens, not be defrauded by Somali immigrants and others. Make it hard for you to get the access to the resources you need. But number two, making it easier for people who shouldn't even be in this country to fleece the United States and our tax.
In America, out of every 1,300 people, one has a Somali background. Okay, out of every 1,300 people, why focus on Somalis? Why focus only on Somalis? Okay, and again, they pardon corrupt people. They pardoned the CEO of Binance, who makes Trump money, extremely corrupt. Trump used the White House for his crypto ball. For the top buyers of his cryptocurrency, using our public property to make money from his cryptocurrency. Trump has made $4 billion this year alone from the presidency. Okay, $4 billion. Our foreign policy is largely done for World Liberty Financial, which is Trump's cryptocurrency company that he profits from. Steve Witkoff, our special envoy to the Middle East and everywhere, he's one of the owners of this crypto company Trump profits from. So again, the corruption is not the issue here. They hate. It's racism. It's pure, vile, disgusting.
Taxpayers to begin with. We have actually activated a major interagency task force to make it possible to get to the heart of this fraud. We have Department of Agriculture resources that are focused looking in with broad investigation.
Bro, again, Somali immigrants make up 0.08% of the population, and it's the main focus.
Authority to a number of the instances of wrongdoing that we've seen in Minneapolis. But we also want to expand this. We know that the fraud isn't just happening in Minneapolis, it's also happening in states like Ohio. It's happening in states like California. And so what we're doing in order to help coordinate this remarkable interagency effort from the Trump administration, but also to make sure that we prosecute the bad guys and do it as swiftly and efficiently as possible, is we are creating a new Assistant Attorney General position who will have nationwide jurisdiction over the issue of fraud. Now, of course, that person's efforts will start
I muted the wrong
primarily
one.
in Minnesota.
I just said Somalis make up 0.08% of the population, and they're the main focus.
But it is going to be a nationwide effort because, unfortunately, the American people have been defrauded in a very nationwide way. I want to thank a couple of people for their cooperation, in particular Pam Bondi, our Attorney General, first of all, for getting a lot of resources to Minneapolis to start to investigate and prosecute this fraud, really at an industrial scale. We've never seen fraud like this in the history of our country. Pam has been doing a great job to get the resources there to uncover it. But importantly, creating a job like this often takes months, sometimes even longer. When we realized that we needed this Associate Attorney General position, Pam got this person up and running in about puts our law enforcement officers at risk every single day. Officer kills U.S. citizen.
Okay. Here's what I want to focus on. JD Vance talking about Renee Good, the person murdered, in my opinion, by ICE.
This is the headline. I'm just going to read it. Outrage after ICE officer kills U.S. citizen in Minneapolis. Well, that's one way to put it, and that is the way that many people in the corporate media have put this attack over the last 24 hours. And I say attack very, very intentionally, because this was an attack on federal law enforcement. This was an attack on law and order. This was an attack on the American people. The way that the media, by and large, has reported this story has been an absolute disgrace, and it puts our law enforcement officers at risk.
Calm down, Karen. Holy shit. Take a chill pill. Take one of your mom's pills, bro. Jeez. Okay, so every person I know in real life, every Trump supporter, I know people who defend Trump on everything and defend ICE on everything. When they saw that video, okay, I was actually kind of surprised. They said right away that is not okay. All right, that is a murder. Everyone I know in real life said that is a murder. All right, it's not just the corporate media. People can see the video for their own eyeballs. Okay, with their own eyeballs. When Trump said the agent got brutally ran over, the agent was recovering in the hospital, everybody knew that was a blatant. It's not even just a lie. It's an alternative reality that's enough to get you checked into a psych ward. Okay.
Every single day. What that headline leaves out is the fact that that very ICE officer nearly had his life ended, dragged by a car 6 months ago, 33 stitches in his leg. So you think maybe he's a little bit sensitive about.
You think he's a little sensitive? What a little bitch baby, bro.
Ramming him with an automobile.
Yeah, okay. Stop getting in front of cars. Whether you're federal law enforcement or local law enforcement, a golden rule is to not be in front of moving vehicles. This car was already in motion doing a 3-point turn when this dumbass barely got in front of it, this ICE agent. He had to reach around the car to shoot her the first time, and then he ran with the car to shoot her 3 more times from the passenger window. Bro, if you have that much PTSD because your dumbass doesn't know simple protocol in law enforcement not to be in front of moving cars, quit. If you're so traumatized, if you're that, dude.
What that headline leaves out is that woman was there to interfere with a legitimate law enforcement operation in the United States.
No, she wasn't. There's no proof of that.
Is that woman is part of a broader left-wing network to attack, to dox, to assault, and to make it impossible for our ICE officers to do their job. If
no evidence for this whatsoever.
The truth, they ought to tell the truth that a group
complete lies, nothing backing this up whatsoever. This is the federal government trying to craft an Orwellian. I'm only saying Orwellian because of the nature of the blatant way they are creating a false reality. Okay, even in the most far right perspective, let's say you're super pro ICE, even in the pro ICE perspective, your takeaway would be, oh, well, it's a quick decision. Both people made mistakes, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this right here is, again, deranged.
Left-wing radicals have been working tirelessly, sometimes
left-wing
using
radicals
domestic terror
sent her
techniques to try to make it impossible for the President of the United States to do what the American people elected him to do.
Renee Good, a mother who dropped her kid off at school, who was waving the cars to go by, is a domestic terrorist trained by Antifa leftist terrorist cells, is what they're going with. Okay. And the other officer is a dumbass who gets dragged by cars all the time because he doesn't know what he's doing with his job. And we got to feel bad for his emotions, for his fifis.
For the President of the United States to do what the American people elected him to do, which is enforce our immigration laws. The President stands with ICE. I stand with ICE. We stand with all of our law enforcement officers. And part of that is recognizing that you people in the media, not everybody in this room, but many people in this room have been lying about this attack. She was trying to ram this guy with her car.
Anyone can see she was turning away from the guy. If she wanted to ram the guy with her car, she would have easily been able to do it. She would have done it right away. It would have been easy. It would have been easy to ram him with the car. She turned away from the car, which is why the guy needs to run to her to shoot her. If you watch the video, the guy, and I'll debate anybody on this, okay? The guy runs with her to keep shooting her because she turns away from him.
He shot back. He defended himself. He's already been seriously wounded in law enforcement operations before, and everybody who's been repeating the lie that this is some innocent woman who was out for a drive in Minneapolis when a law enforcement officer shot at her, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Every single one of you. Questions?
You should be ashamed of yourselves. You should be ashamed of yourselves. What about his feelings? President Trump was elected to do a job, and you're getting in his way. This random mom who had stuffed toys, who had a bunch of toys for her kids in the passenger side, and she was waving cars. And anybody can look at the video. She is waving cars down the road. This is something where, remember, Ashley Babbitt was charging through police barricades. She was diving through it, and a cop shot her. They say that was unjust, and the cop executed her. Okay. All right. They say Ashley Babbitt was in the right. She is their hero. Okay. She is their martyr for January 6th. And then here, they're saying this person was a threat to law enforcement. And January 6th, the 600 officers or the 600 rioters who assaulted 180 police officers were all pardoned. Okay. That was fine. All right. The police officers were the enemy there. But this is enough to kill someone. This is a case where the people in power, and I don't say this as to say that the voters who voted for them are like this. The voters are not like this. They're too stubborn to admit their mistakes on who they voted for. But if it's a liberal getting hurt, they like it. It's okay. It's good. If it's a conservative getting hurt, they hate it. It's not good. Okay? And vice versa. That is their only standard. They don't judge morality. They don't judge law. They judge what gets, not even conservative. These are not conservatives. Okay. What gets their authoritarian project more power? That's all they care about.
And I wanted to read a quote from Tim Walz earlier today. He said, "When things looked bleak, it was Minnesota's first that held the line for the nation on July 3rd, 1863. And I think we may be in that moment now." Can you comment on his rhetoric and Mayor Jacob Frey and whether they want to see unrest in Minneapolis?
Well, that's very tough rhetoric from a guy who just quit because his fraudulent activities have been uncovered. Look, Tim Walz is a joke. His entire administration has been a joke. The idea that he's some sort of freedom fighter, he's not. He's a guy who has enabled fraud and maybe in fact has participated in fraud. That's what this new assistant attorney general position is going to find out.
Yeah, we'll see in a few months what they prove. Because remember, Obama was also going to be in jail. Hillary Clinton was going to be in jail. Bill Clinton was going to be in jail. Adam Schiff was going to be in jail. Comey was going to be in jail. Yeah, they're all. Tish James is going to be in jail. Yeah, bro, they're all going to be in jail. You have so much evidence. Yeah, okay, let's see it. I mean, Tim Walz, his state has family medical leave. Okay, paid family medical leave. That's pretty good. You know, they have free school lunches for kids there. That's pretty good. They have one of the best business environments in America. They're ranked top 5 for opportunity. They're ranked top 15 in every other quality of life ranking. But conservatives don't care about quality of life in America. They just want to own the liberals.
I don't care what Tim Walz says. I care about getting to the bottom of this fraud for the American people, and I care about enforcing the nation's immigration laws. That's what we're going to stay focused on.
Unrelated question here. I mean, Democrats have accused ICE of murder. They've said they're targeting Americans. They've told ICE to get the F out of Minnesota. This is going to stoke the fire against ICE agents. And you're talking about ICE agents right now and being concerned about them. What, if anything, is the administration going to do to make sure these folks are protected during these protests? But also, should DHS sort of revisit their procedures here? I mean, nobody wants to see an American killed. Are there changes that need to be made to make sure something like this doesn't happen again?
Look, first of all, of course, nobody wants an American citizen to be killed. This is absolutely a tragedy, but it's a tragedy of the making of the far left. They have radicalized a very small segment of the population, taught them that ICE agents...
Bro, she was parked in her car, waving cars through. Okay, she had toys after dropping her kid off at school. Okay, she wanted to wave the unmarked truck through as well, but the goons wanted to jump out and detain her for whatever reason instead of communicating like actual law enforcement would do. Because remember, ICE agents are not law enforcement. They are not. They are not police officers. They are not military. They are, Okay. Yeah, she's a domestic terrorist, bro. Have you guys seen the schools? So pretty much, in Minneapolis right now, they're having ICE when school lets out just terrorize kids. Minneapolis public schools have had to close down for the entire week. Basically, they wait outside. They camp outside schools, and then they harass a bunch of kids coming out. They tackle them. They demand papers. They detain them. Like this scene right here looks like Russia. It looks like China. It looks like an authoritarian country that we don't want to be. And you would ask, out of every immigrant in America, do you think Trump voters, when they voted for Trump, wanted to go after kids in public schools? Are they the threats to America? Kids who are probably just brought here by their parents, are they threats to America? Or are they doing something wrong that we have to stop right away? And if we do need to take care of issues with students, like let's say that's your opinion. Your opinion is you think we need to clean up America. All right, you clean up America with all the illegals, including all the kids. Why would you want to send in 30, 40, 50 unidentified federal thugs to go in and just start mobbing people, bro? Like, I don't know who voted for this. I don't know who voted for this shit, bro. Other than Asmongold viewers and a bunch of internet people that don't go outside. Oh, wait. There you go.
Agents are engaging in what?
Please drop a like. Please drop a like. Follow my page as well. Turn the bell on. Subscribe. Donate to Jola Politics on Cash App or Venmo. Drop a super chat. Become a YouTube member. Become a patron on Patreon. I'll take phone calls in a little bit after we watch JD Vance's amazing statements here.
But it's a tragedy of the making of the far left. They have radicalized a very small segment of the population, taught them that ICE agents are engaging in wide-scale violation of people's rights. What our ICE officers are doing is deporting the millions of criminal aliens that were let in during the Biden administration. So number one, we have to say, as a matter of leadership, and I would appreciate if the Democrats would join me on this, let's be honest about the fact that we have way too many illegal aliens in this country. Our ICE officers should be supported in doing their job. You're trying to actually marshal the far left lunatic fringe to engage in doxing, to try to make it impossible for them to enforce the law. And in some
Bro, Obama deported more people without any of this. How did Obama deport so many people without terrorizing so many people? in America and without terrorizing kids. And Obama did do some of that, right? But Obama was able to deport tons of people without any of these issues. It's intentional. It's on purpose. They want this chaos.
Some cases actually to engage in acts of domestic terrorism against our law enforcement officers. When you talk about different plans, different protocols, different policies, I forget exactly how you asked the question. Here's the simple fact. What we're going to do is make it easier for the American People's Administration to enforce the American people's law. And that means that Democrats have to stop rallying the mob against legitimate law enforcement operations. And that means that we are going to get tougher. And that's what this AAG position is about. We're going to get tougher at the people who are defrauding the United States by inciting violence.
Bro,
against
she
our law
was sitting in her
enforcement
car.
officers.
She was sitting in her car waving her arm to let cars go by.
That's one of the things that we're going to do. We've already started that work at the Department of Justice, but we're going to keep on doing it. And this new AAG position is going to kick that into high gear.
Anybody call into the stream. Okay, I'm streaming right now reacting to this dipshit's press conference, but any Trump supporter, anybody who watches that video and thinks she was targeting the ICE agents, please call into my stream. Okay, we can watch it frame by frame. All right, we can make it very slow for you. I know you need that. I know you are very mad about the fraud for childcare programs because mentally you need them. Okay, you're around that age mentally. But we can go through it. All right, we'll talk about law enforcement and how they should be approaching the American people about their masking. Okay, please call into my show. Please. I want to have a conversation, dialogue. Okay, please.
Vice President Vance, you just suggested that this woman who was killed, Renee Good, is part of a broader left-wing network. Who do you think is behind this broader left-wing network?
Well, it's one of the things we're going to have to figure out, but here's a way that
Oh, yeah. Just say this random person, this mother who dropped her kid off at school with her kid's toys next to her and like a coffee cup in the car with her, who was waving cars to pass her down the road. Just say she's a member of a broad domestic terrorist organization and she's trained. She's trained by this organization. And when you need to provide any proof at all, because these people have no integrity or principles. Oh, we got to find who's doing this, guys. Like,
put it, when somebody throws a brick at an ICE agent or somebody tries to run over an ICE agent, who paid for the brick? And who told protesters to show up and engage in violent activity against our law enforcement officers? You see, just with this most recent terrible incident in Minneapolis, you see friends of this woman's or other people who are eyewitnesses saying basically that she was there to engage in obstruction of a legitimate law enforcement operation. How did she get there? How did she learn about this? There's an entire network.
she lives like right around, right on that block, I'm pretty sure. And people did not say she was there to obstruct ICE. This is one of those things where you can literally watch the video. You can watch the video and see her do this with her arm. All right, she does this. She says, go to let cars through. She's about to do a 3-point turn to go down the opposite side of the road. All right, one agent hops out of the car, says, go. She thinks she's supposed to leave. Okay, she tries to leave. Another agent comes, runs up on her, starts yanking at her door. Another one comes from behind with his phone in his hand. The guy who shot her was recording her for his Nazi stream. Okay. And with all that, you're expecting this civilian to have more situational awareness and a better response in that split second than trained federal law enforcement. And it's a illegal stop. ICE does not have the ability to just do random traffic stops of Americans or to rip them out of their cars. They don't have that authority. Just because you're a federal agent doesn't mean you can do literally anything.
And frankly, some of the media are participating in it that is trying to incite violence against our law enforcement officers.
Frankly, the media is inciting violence by watching the video and saying what's in the video. Frankly, it's very offensive. It's ridiculous. It's preposterous.
Work is getting preposterous. Who's funding it? Who's supporting it? Who's cheerleading it? And of course, if there's illegal activity related to that, we're going to get to the bottom of that and prosecute.
Yeah, get to the bottom of it. Give us results to tell us what it is.
Is there a risk?
Hey, it must be a big deal. He's definitely going to get us actual results, right? We're going to know.
Range left is talking about very specific facts of these events. When an investigation is just beginning, are you preempting?
Okay, here. Good question.
Today, is there a risk with you describing her as a deranged leftist, talking about very specific facts of these events? When an investigation is just beginning, are you preempting a thorough investigation by drawing such conclusions? And have you received any information beyond the videos we've seen publicly about this individual, her specific acts, that has informed your point of view?
Well, first of all, the Department of Justice is going to investigate this. The Department of Homeland Security is already investigating this. But the simple fact is, what you see is what you get in this case.
He says she's a member of a terrorist
domestic terrorist group in America that trains people to attack ICE agents with cars. And his response for evidence before there's any investigation done for this mother, okay, is to say, well, what you see is what you get. Well, what you see is what you get. I mean, what you see is what you get. We're going to get to the bottom of this, guys. You're a clown if you believe this shit, bro.
You have a woman who is trying to obstruct a legitimate law enforcement operation. Nobody debates that. You have a woman who aimed her car at a law enforcement officer and pressed on the accelerator. Nobody debates that. I can believe that her death is a tragedy while also recognizing that it's a tragedy.
Nobody debates anything, dude.
A tragedy
I'm right.
of the far left.
You want to know my proof? You want to know my proof, dipshit reporter? I'm right. Yeah, I'm right. I'm right. Want to know my proof? I'm right. And also, second point, you're wrong. Dude, liberal, bad, destroyed, dominated. This is...
who has marshaled an entire movement
You want proof?
of lunatic fringe
Proof of what?
against our law enforcement officers. I think what is clearly happening
evidence?
here, and it's going to keep on happening unless the Democrats wake up and say, you know what, you don't have to agree with our immigration policies. You don't have to agree with what the president or the vice president believe about immigration enforcement, but why don't you take this to the ballot box? Why don't you vote? Why don't you organize? Instead, what some of them are doing is encouraging people to get violent with our law enforcement officials. It's disgraceful. And it's gotta stop.
Who's encouraging people to get violent? Wait, just name names. You can just go through this entire tirade and call people terrorists, and you cannot. You don't have one name. You don't have one quote. Like, there's nothing to even respond to other than to call him a dipshit.
Just to follow up on that question, and again, thank you for taking questions, Mr. Vice President. There's clearly a lot of emotion in Minnesota, across the country, over this incident. You're calling Renee Good a deranged leftist. There's been heated rhetoric that we've also heard from officials. What responsibility do you and the president have to diffuse some of the tension that we are seeing play out in Minnesota, bring down the temperature?
Well, the radical left is the people that does all the political violence, dude. The radical left is the people who does all the violence, dude. I mean,
as this investigation is unfolding.
What we have a responsibility to do is to protect the people who are enforcing
laws, and radical left needs to stop encouraging violence against our agents
in the United States of America. Now, again, I'm not happy that this woman lost her life. I'm not happy that this woman was there at a protest violating the law by interfering with the law enforcement.
What? Violating the law. She's violating the law. Which law? Huh. Good question.
Action. I think that we can all recognize that the best way to turn down the temperature is to tell people to take their concerns about immigration policy to the ballot box.
Shove it up your ass.
Stop assaulting and stop inciting violence against our law enforcement officers. That's the best way to take down the temperature. And we're not going to give in to terrorism on this. And that's
terrorism.
Exactly
this is
people
terrorism, guys.
Antagonize,
this is literally
violence.
terrorism,
they throw
dude.
bricks at them. Sometimes they shoot at them. Sometimes they
this
dox
is literally
them. Sometimes
terrorism.
they go to their place of residence and harass their families.
This is
terrorism.
terrorism.
Is classic terrorism. And we cannot say
yes,
that
this woman is a classic terrorist.
Left fringe is inciting violence against our brave law enforcement officials that we're no longer going to enforce the law. That's rewarding the very people who are engaged in this garbage. The actual reward that they just got.
What she said to J.D. Vance was, do you think it's a little bit bad to call her a deranged leftist domestic terrorist who trains with another group of domestic terrorists to purposely assault the United States government? Okay. She's not asking for your bitch fest. Okay. She asked the question about why are you saying all this shit right now with no information.
Assistant Attorney General who is going to prosecute and investigate this stuff even more aggressively than before.
Yeah.
We're going to prosecute so hard, dude.
So the head of Minnesota's investigations agency says that the U.S. Attorney's Office has essentially cut off the state investigations agency's access to the investigation. What is the precedent for that?
Yeah, big protest in that video, dude.
Minnesota officials on the ground have access and evidence to work on this investigation.
First of all, I wish the state officials in Minnesota would investigate why you have so many people who are using their vehicles and other means to actually interfere with a legitimate law enforcement operation.
Yeah, that's how you interfere with ICE. You actually pull out of your parking spot and you do this. You let the road open and you say, hey, go ahead, go down the road. That's how you interfere with ICE, okay? And if you do that, you get shot and killed, basically.
Here is very simple. You have a federal
and
law
she's a
enforcement
terrorist, by the way.
engaging in federal law enforcement action.
She's a terrorist.
That's a federal issue. That
trained
guy is protected by absolute
terrorist.
immunity.
Al-Qaeda, ISIS,
The
Hezbollah,
idea that Tim Walz
Hamas.
and a bunch of radicals in Minneapolis are going to go after and make this guy's life miserable because he was doing the job
she was trained by all of them.
Asked to do is preposterous.
She was in the planes on 9/11. She was in the planes. All right. She was in the planes. All right. And yeah, she was in the planes. She was training with Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden, they would play basketball together because he was really tall, like 6'5", dude. Like, yeah, she was a trained terrorist, bro. Yeah.
Unprecedented
Evidence?
thing is the idea
I don't
that
know.
a local official can actually prosecute a federal official with absolute immunity. I've never seen anything
She
like
wasn't
that.
making a U-turn. She was making a she was making a 3-point turn.
Local official can actually prosecute.
Or do you mean like a U-turn to begin with? Like,
The unprecedented thing is the idea that a local official can actually prosecute a federal official with absolute immunity. I've never seen anything like that. It would get tossed out by a judge. So what I'd like Minnesota to focus on is the real issue that they're encouraging people. Minneapolis officials are encouraging people to commit violence against ICE officials. It's ridiculous. It's got to stop. Go ahead.
Mr. President, thank you. You said earlier that there's a left-wing network to attack, to dox, to assault, and make it impossible for ICE officers to do their job. You told my colleague just now that there's an investigation going on into that network.
Yep.
okay, JD Vance, this huge domestic terrorist organization, this big network, Antifa sells all across America. All right, you've had around 6 months to get us one piece of information about this. Okay, JD Vance, I'm ready to hear it. All right, Kash Patel had nothing, Trump had nothing, no names, all the different hearings. There were no names from the FBI, from any agency in America about this group. But now, finally, after another claim that this random mother, all right, who got shot and killed. Okay, here's another claim you make that she is in this group. Now give us the business.
If everything that you say is true, how does being part of that network justify being shot?
Well, being part of the network doesn't justify being shot, but
What network?
ramming an ICE officer with your car, that's what justifies.
Oh, he got rammed, dude. Yeah, the ICE officer got rammed. Holy shit, dude. That was, dude, high velocity ramming was happening in that video. Holy crap. The ICE officer was oh my goodness. I can't believe he
being
survived
shot.
that.
It's not a good
Oh
thing,
my
by the way,
God.
but when you force somebody to
Oh my
engage in
God.
self-defense, it's
No
almost
way.
a preposterous question.
Oh my God,
I'm not
dude.
saying that funding some of this stuff justifies
Oh my
capital
God.
punishment. Nobody would suggest that. The reason this
No
woman is
way.
dead is because she tried to ram somebody with her car, and that guy acted in self-defense. That is why she lost her life, and that is the tragedy. Now, there may be other violations of the law and other
Oh no, dude, bro, she rammed him with her car. She rammed him with her car.
You are fucking.
She rammed him. Dude, just wait. Dude. By the way, he has his phone out right here. He's recording her for funsies because he's a dipshit. Dude, he got rammed. You see him right there when he's reaching over into the windshield? He's leaning into the car right now. He's leaning into the car. All right. He's leaning into the car. And that was shot number one. And now he's on the side of the car. Dude, he got rammed. Look at him. He got so rammed right there. I can't believe he survived. When he jogged after her to shoot her 3 more times. Bro, like, he got demolished by that truck. It must be like a video game with a terrible frame rate and packet loss. And he just clipped through the car. You know? And the collision detection didn't work. Because holy shit, dude, he got... I can't believe he survived that shit. Oh my God.
penalties that are associated with those violations of the law. For example, if you are funding violence against our law enforcement officers, I'm not
survived
a
that?
prosecutor.
No
My
way.
guess is that's not the sort of thing that earns capital punishment, but it should sure as hell earn you a few years in prison if you're funding the effort to try to assault our law enforcement
Who's
officers.
funding it?
What is?
Tell me.
I'm sorry, guys. What's going on here?
Cinnabon?
You guys are meant to report the truth. How have you let yourself become agents of propaganda of a radical fringe that's making it harder for us to enforce our laws? You just asked me a question that presumed that the reason why this woman died is because she was engaged in legitimate protest. She tried to run somebody over with her car, and the guy defended himself when that happened. Next question.
Next question. Next question. Next question. This guy's gay.
I said next question.
I said next question. I said, bro, he's so soy. I said next question, bro. He's so... Why are they all gay, bro? What's going on, bro? They're all homosexuals, bro. Bro, look at this guy, dude. This far right guy. This QAnon guy talking about we executed one of you, bro. They're all like, oh my God, Jesus. Oh my.
I mean, you presumably watched the video yourself. There's not the slightest doubt in your mind, having viewed
I said next question.
the victim, you still believe that she deliberately tried to ram him despite seeing this video.
Look, I don't know what's in a person's heart or in a person's head.
Bro! He's been calling her a terrorist for the last 10 minutes, that she rammed the ICE agent with a car and she deserved to get killed as a result. And now it's like, I don't know what's in her head because the video shows he's a complete liar. Bro, I can't believe it. I can't even, the shit I hear on a daily basis is constant. Dude, I would rather get tackled by the biggest NFL linebackers with no pads on, bro. Like, the brain damage suffered from that would be far less of an impact on my school than hearing these dipshits repeat this nonsense every single day, bro.
And obviously, we're not going to get the chance to ask this woman what was going on.
Oh, we're not going to get a chance to ask her. He's funny, too.
Certain of is that she violated the law. What I'm certain of is that officer had every reason to think that he was under very serious threat for injury or
very serious threat for injury as he's recording.
What I'm certain of is that she accelerated in a way where she ran into the guy.
Yeah, that's why she turned away from him.
What was in her heart and what was
that's why, like, the officer was to the left of the car, and after he reached over the windshield and shot her through the door. Okay, when he shot her through the side of the car, that's why the car went the opposite direction. Because she was, her
head.
I don't know how
that she violated.
I don't know how wheels work either, dude.
Acting in self-defense. It raises an interesting point, though. Look, if people want to say that we should have a legitimate debate about, what was she really doing, right? Was she panicking when she drove into this officer, or was she actually trying to ram him?
She drove into him.
That's a reasonable conversation. Yeah. What's not reasonable
Very
is
reasonable.
for so many of you to plaster all over the media that this was an innocent woman and that the ICE agent committed murder, which is what many of you have said explicitly and some of you have said implicitly. That's what I have an objection to.
Oh, implicit. No, don't say something implicitly. You see how that agent is right there, okay? And he has his phone out recording. You can see his phone. Look at him. He's walking around, all right? You can see his phone. You can see his phone right there. He's recording. He's recording this entire thing because he thinks this is fun. The same reason they make Pokemon theme song videos beating up immigrants, they are rabid, okay? He has his phone out recording, all right? If he's really in that great of a threat, why is he recording with his phone? All right, she's backing up right there. She's making a 3-point turn. She doesn't know what's going on. Now the guy has his phone in his hand still. Now he brings his gun out, all right? And he's not diving out the way. He's not diving out the way, okay? He reaches over. His body right now is leaned over to shoot her through the windshield, okay? All right. And after the car passes him after the car turns away from him to avoid hitting him, all right, he runs with the car to fire more shots. Okay. So you can see very directly, this guy was recording. He had a fun old time doing it because they're a bunch of dipshit, baby, loser, no integrity fools who are part of this dumbass agency. And again, don't compare them to law enforcement or police officers. These people are scum that couldn't make any actual job work. They had to become ICE agents. Okay. He's recording it. All right, this guy should be behind bars for 25 years, okay? At least. Like, again, he's recording with his phone. You can see his phone out. Why is he recording? Oh, in law enforcement, getting in front of an already moving car is against every single protocol and rule. Like every single piece of training you would ever get. But this dipshit apparently got hit by another car 6 months ago. So I guess it's a hobby for him. So he can have his phone out, record. Yeah, that's a very... Again, like, just show people these breakdowns. They will, if people see this directly, they will understand this administration is lying their asses off to such an extent. It's pathological. It's insane. It's psychotic. How they are lying about this situation. Like, she did not want to hit anybody. She tried not to hit anybody. She started off waving them on to say they can go in front of her. Like, the idea that she was any type of threat, let alone a trained domestic terrorist who trains with other terrorists around America. And she was there to purposely try and go after ICE agents. Again, if she wanted to hit him, she easily could have, but that was not what she was there for at all. I think she dropped her kid off in the morning. She had the kids' toys in the passenger side. She probably was just confused about what was going on because they're in unmarked vehicles and they're dressed like damn cartel members. And all these idiots are trying to grift and all these media people, they know what they see, but they're lying about it. Make sure you drop a like, repost this video, and follow my page. It's ridiculous, bro.
The idea that this was not justified is absurd, and I think everybody knows it in their heart.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Yeah.
In the green jacket.
Taking down the temperature.
It seems like political violence is ratcheting up and riots could be around the corner. What steps does the administration have planned to try to unite America? Average people on both political sides are so tired of fighting with each other, and I think all the journalists in this
We're
room
going to
would
do the
agree with
job
me,
we got elected to
that we
do,
don't want to
and
be
the
part of
radical
problem.
left
Do you have
is the
any? Do
problem.
you have any words to unite America?
You know, I know you don't want to be part of the problem, and I think that's true of a lot of you. I'm not sure it's true for everybody, because the reporting over this has been one of the biggest scandals I've ever seen in media. I've
Yeah,
never
the
seen
biggest
a
scandal in
case
media
so
ever.
misrepresented and misreported.
Yes,
when you have a guy
misrepresented.
who was defending himself and is now being treated as some sort of federal assassin by so many of the people in this room. First of all, let me say about crime. You mentioned
He is. Not an assassin, but yeah, he should be behind bars. I'm anti-death penalty, but you know what? I'll maybe as a treat, just for him. Like I'm against that in general, so that's a joke. But like, I don't think anybody should be killed by the government for any reason, whether it's a death penalty, whether it's ICE. In America, the government should not be killing people unless if they absolutely need to. This is such a terrible situation. So stupid. And the lies are so dumb.
and violence. One of the things we're proudest about is that you saw violent crime over the last year drop by 20%. We can lower the temperature by discussing differences in a reasonable and rational way. Again, I'm happy to talk with any congressional Democrat or any of you about our immigration policy, about why I think it's necessary, about why I think it's in the best interest
His
of the
face
country,
doesn't
about why
move.
the President of the United States was elected to actually enforce the border for the first time in at least 4 years. So here's the problem. That's not the debate so many people are having. They are actively covering for people who are committing acts of violence against federal law enforcement.
LOL. Okay. I'll take some phone calls. I'll take some phone calls. All right. Phone lines are open. Here we go. You call back in. Everything is terrorism now. Botox and guy liner. Da 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 da.
Call from.
Hello.
Yo, Joel, so you asked what I meant by she was doing a U-turn. The reason she's pulled out in front of the ICE agents right there at that moment is she was parked on the side of the road there, and she's trying to go down the other way. So she pulls out in front of the ICE agents, and she starts to wave them around. A big issue that I have is they're pushing this as like an intentionality to block these agents when that wasn't it. And it's clear, you pointed out all the time that if she was trying to block the agents, why was she waving other cars around?
And backing
if you
up,
really,
yeah.
Watch the video. If you watch the video, the first car she waves around is an ICE vehicle. That's where the cop that the ICE officer that shoots her comes from, is the first car she waves around.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people that see this, and I don't know what word to use to describe it, because people that see this and they see her waving people through, and if they come away with it thinking any of the administration's narrative, they have to be zombie brained, like literally just like zombie, like brain dead, just like yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how they can look at this and see the death of an American citizen and be cheering it on.
Because they want to. They want to see it that way, so they're gonna see it that way. It's like a 12-year-old. Oh, thank you for the call.
Yeah, thank you for taking my call. Hey, you MAGA cucktards, call in. Bye.
You might have got one. All right, see you. Thank you. Kyle in chat. One of the mods. I don't block anybody in chat. The mods do, by the way. So if you get blocked, it's not me. Hello? Hello there.
Yep, I'm here.
Howdy, what's up?
Not too much. I'm surprised you called me back.
Yeah, there's not too many people calling right now.
Yeah, clearly. Was that lady in front of the car when she hit the gas? Or, I'm sorry, was the ICE officer in front of the vehicle when the driver hit the gas?
What direction?
It's a simple yes or no question. Was the ICE officer in front of the vehicle when the lady hit the gas?
So originally she's backing up. She backs up first, right?
No, I didn't ask about originally. I'm talking about when she went to run over the ICE officer.
Okay, if you want to have a conversation about the entire thing, we can. Okay, I can get it up on the screen. So she backs up originally.
Well, we don't need a conversation about the entire thing when we can boil it down to whether she tried to run him over or not. And if you submit to the fact that she tried to run him over, you sound retarded trying to say that he's lying about the situation.
I know you probably don't have a father, but we have to have emotional regulation.
This has nothing to do with a father. I would deflect like that too. I would deflect like that too if I didn't have an argument. Wait for me to get the video
up. Calm down. Let me get the video up. Okay, we can do it for the stream. All right.
Have you not seen the video? You have this opinion, yet you haven't.
We have viewers watching the stream as well. We have.
My guy.
Hey, calm down.
My guy.
Calm down.
How embarrassing of you.
So
you have this opinion, and you haven't even seen the video of it.
So what we see here. Okay, are you watching?
There's no deflecting. So you haven't seen the video. So why are you talking about this?
I've been watching the video. Hey, calm down. Calm down.
You sound retarded, my guy.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, let me have a strong opinion. Let me have a strong opinion about a video I've never seen before.
I reviewed this video about 8 hours on stream today and yesterday. I just want to walk through it with you since you called in about it. Is that not good?
Okay. Well, then, when I ask you whether the ICE officer was in front of the car or not, if you've been watching the video for 8 hours, why do you have to pull up the video? I've seen it probably just as much as you have.
Because going through it helps, because the ICE officer originally, if you watch the video, as I'm showing on screen right now, you can see him behind the car, recording with his phone, looping around the car on the right side where the driver can't see. She's waving a car through to begin with. And then when the other truck pulls up, runs out at her, she's waving them through to let them go. One officer says leave, other one says get out of the car. She backs up and tries to make like a 3-point turn. Then the officer that's looping around the car with the smartphone, as you can see at the beginning of the clip, now he just walks in front of the already moving car. So he walks in front of the car,
a lot of talking,
and then he's at the front.
And my question to you is,
and then he's at the front left of the car.
Did she hit the gas when the ICE officer was in front of her vehicle?
No,
and the answer to that
officer was
on yes.
the officer was on the side of the vehicle when she hit the gas. Yeah, in this video. In this video,
don't believe your lying eyes. Everybody that's listening to this.
I have a question. I have a question.
There's literally two different angles.
If the ICE officer was in front of the vehicle, he was really close to it. He was touching the car. Okay, if he was in front of the vehicle and she wanted to hit him,
yes.
How did he not get hit?
Because he jumped out of the way as she was hitting him. Actually, and to say that he didn't get hit is a lie.
Okay,
so you don't think that vehicle... So that vehicle didn't make contact with him.
We see him right there. Saying. He did not get hit by the car.
The vehicle didn't make contact with him. Is that the argument you're making?
He was touching the car already. He was already touching the car.
So she accelerated towards him, hitting him with the vehicle.
Okay, so
and
you
want
to
sit there and say that she didn't accelerate into.
Can you please calm down? Okay, so the vehicle, when she backs up...
It's hard to calm down when somebody can't accept reality. When there's literally video of it.
You don't look good. The video's on the screen right now. So the wheels right now, she's backing up. The wheels are, when she starts moving forward, the wheels are turned towards him, right?
And
if you look at it right now,
he's in front of the vehicle. He's in front of the vehicle.
So in this picture I have on screen right now, he has his phone out recording the car. He's at the front left of the car, and the wheels are pointed towards him.
Recording the car?
The person who does the shooting eventually.
Okay, so the ICE officer is in front of the vehicle, right?
At the front
he's
left.
Coming around. Okay. He's coming from the right side of the vehicle to the left side of the vehicle.
Okay, now he's at the... She's backing up. I'm talking to you like a human, please.
The side of the vehicle
please. Okay.
When she starts to
take
accelerate.
a deep breath. Okay, are you okay?
Asking, my guy, are you blind?
Deep breath. Okay,
can you see
please?
The video?
Okay, we need to be able to take turns
talking.
Asking
me if I'm okay doesn't.
We need to be able to take turns talking.
Argument.
Okay, yeah, because you won't let me talk because you know I'm gonna blow you out if you let me talk.
You're
right?
gonna what?
That's why you're talking over me.
The irony is you can't say
Let me
anything
talk.
that the
Let me
video
talk.
doesn't
No,
already
okay,
say,
let me
brother.
talk. If you have such a good argument, let me talk and respond to you, or you look weak.
The argument's in the video.
Calm down.
If
Hey,
you
buddy,
don't watch the
buddy.
video,
You look weak if you do this. Like, I want you to be strong
do
and
what?
look good on. I want you to look good
You're
in conversations.
deflecting. Look,
Just
I
let
would
me
deflect
give me a
too
turn
if
to
I
speak.
didn't have
Give
any
me a
argument.
turn. Give me a turn to speak. Okay.
I have for the
So-
last 20 minutes. You just keep arguing about how you can't talk. You interrupt me in the middle of my points, but then you say how you can't talk. So go ahead and refute whether the officer was in front of that vehicle when she hit the gas, because he can't. It's on video.
Okay. Can I have a turn to talk?
Asking if you can have it turn to talk makes you sound retarded, brother. Nobody's talking. Go ahead.
Okay. So the car is backing up. The car stops backing up. The wheels are turned towards the guy who does the shooting.
You're moving the timeline back.
Can
Let's
I please
just
have a chance to
focus on
talk?
when
Can
the
I please have a
officer's
chance?
in front of the
Let me
vehicle.
talk. Let me talk.
Because you're deflecting.
Let me talk for 10 seconds. Okay. So
Do
he
you
goes
want me
from
to
the right
count? 'Cause
side.
that's how long he was in front of the vehicle for.
Buddy.
That's how long we need to talk
Everyone
about this.
watching knows that you don't have an argument if you have to keep talking over me. Let me say my part and then you can respond. Okay. Can you handle that?
The argument's in the video, so go ahead.
Can
brother.
you handle talking through the video or not?
I'm not watching your stream, my guy. I'm talking to you on the phone.
Okay. So
There's a delay on the stream. Do you know that?
I've had the same picture up like for the past 5 minutes. Okay. So when the car
I'm
backs,
not watching your stream for the third time.
can you give me a chance to talk, please? Without interrupting.
My guy, go ahead. But if you can't answer whether the officer was in front of the car when she hit the gas, when the tires are spinning out, so you interrupt me, you can interrupt me and then grandstand on that. But when I'm making a point that you can't deny,
Don't cry.
she hit
Please
the
don't
gas
cry.
when he
Please
was in
don't
front of the
cry.
car.
Okay. So I'm talking about
you
when
can't deny it.
I'm talking about when she hits the gas. Okay. So she's backing up here. The guy is at the front right of the car when she backs up. Then he loops to the front left of the car. When she initially is moving forward, the wheels are pointed towards the guy. The guy is in front of the car. The wheels are pointed towards him. So if she wanted to hit him, she would have gone straight into the guy because the wheels were pointed towards him. She could have drove straight. But if you look at the wheels, when she moves forward again, the wheels turn against where the guy is. They move away from the guy who is at the front left of the car. And that's why the guy did not get hit.
So?
If she wanted to hit the guy, he'd be under the car right now.
He did get hit.
If she wanted to hit him, if she was targeting,
getting run over with getting hit by your car?
If she wanted to hit him, she would have ran him over.
You will talk over me. Let me ask you a very direct question.
You didn't let me finish my. Okay.
You said that he wasn't in front of the car. Is that not what you were saying?
He was at the front left of the car. Okay, we can use big boy words and descriptive terms. Okay, so he's at the front left of the car.
He was in front of the car.
The wheels are turned towards him after she makes a 3-point turn. She sees, I'm guessing she sees him last second. She turns the wheel away from him because if she wanted to hit him, she would have just drove straight when the wheels are turned towards him, like right here.
Let's hold on.
If she was targeting him,
was hit by this car. Is that what we're doing here?
If she was targeting him and wanted to attack the ICE officer, do you think that's what she wanted to do?
Is that relevant to whether she actually did hit him?
We can have a conversation like an adult, right? I don't know how old you are.
And I'm asking you a very specific question. Was the officer in front of her vehicle when she hit the gas? And the answer to that question is yes, right? The answer is just objectively, it is yes. Now, did she run him over 100%? No. And I think you are conflating those two things, getting hit by the car and getting run over, right? You think those two are the same thing.
I'm saying
that's your argument
I'm
here.
saying that if the narrative is correct that she wanted to hit him, if her intent was to target an ICE agent, she would have ran him over easily. She would not have turned her wheels away from him to avoid hitting him completely, to avoid knocking him over and completely just like killing him. Because if she would have went straight after backing up, she could have ran right over him. But she obviously was turning away from the guy, which is why he was able to just like lean in and shoot her 4 times and run with the car.
He didn't,
and he walked away without any injuries whatsoever. Yeah, he leaned in.
That was really subtle.
Yeah, I have it on
when
the screen.
When you say he leaned in, where did he lean? What do you mean by that?
When she turns her wheels to the right.
He's dodging out of the way of the moving car?
No, he leans in to shoot her through the windshield. That's where the bullet comes from, is the very far right of the windshield. It's angled towards the head, which would be behind the steering wheel.
Right.
So he shot it from the outside of the car. So if you think about the angle.
Did it come from the front?
Yeah, the
Did it
angle
come
was the
from the
right
front
windshield.
of the windshield, or did it come from, like, let's say her driver's side window?
The very right corner of the windshield was the first shot, with him leaning over and shooting her the first time. And then the rest of the shots were through the driver's side window.
So it came from the front of the vehicle, right?
The rest of the shots were through the driver's side window.
So your argument is that because she turned her wheel to the right, even though the officer was still in front of the vehicle, because she didn't mean to run him over, even though that would have happened. Okay, you can interrupt me, but I can't. We're going to grandstand when I do it.
No,
you just tried to, and you just tried to. Don't deny
stop
that.
Whining. Stop whining. Just talk.
Well, if you stop denying reality, then I'll stop pointing out every time you interrupt me.
Go.
But I'll just say this. So you think that because she turned her wheel away from the officer and he's still in front of her, she can spin out and run him over? Because her intentions are to turn the wheel to the right a little bit and maybe just nick him a little bit. That's okay. That's okay. But it's, if God forbid she keep going straight, then she could get shot. But if she just turns her wheel to the right, that's the justification for her to run him over.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that the claim made about her is that she was targeting ICE agents. So when the administration talks about it, is that she wanted to...
Did she pull over for that? Did she pull over and block ICE agents from operating?
No, she was waving them through. The first part of the video was her waving cars through. She actually she tried waving the truck through as well. You could see her move her arm to say go through, and they stopped and wanted to detain her. But she was letting cars through. She wasn't blocking the road.
Yeah, she was blocking traffic. Okay, yeah.
No, right. she you could see in the video she's moving her arm like go ahead. Like if you're in a car, you say you motion like, hey, go, I'll let you go, because she wants to turn left down the road and they're blocking the road. She wasn't blocking the road though. She was letting cars go because she let a car go right before the truck.
Yeah.
Like she let an ICE vehicle go past her right before the truck. So she wasn't blocking the road. So that wasn't the intent for that.
Yeah, sure.
My argument is that she did not intend, because the reason she turned so far to the right, and it was pretty quick, because for the wheel to turn at that radius so quick, you have to really be cranking the steering wheel. She turned to the right to avoid hitting that ICE agent on the front left.
The expert in power steering. Here we go. Tell us more about that. Do you know how hard you have to slam on the gas pedal for the wheels to slip out under ice like that? Or how about this? You think that she shouldn't anticipate that they're running on ice, that he could have slipped and she would have ran him over because he slipped running on ice. You sound retarded.
She's going
defending this. I don't think you know how retarded you sound, and it's why Trump's going to win.
I don't.
Trump won. You sound retarded, Jola.
You sound very sound of mind.
Yeah, because I can watch a video and see a woman try to run over a cop, and you're going to sit there and defend her and act like she's the next victim, this next martyr.
No.
Meanwhile, the Democrats are planning assassination attempts left and right. Your party is the party of violence.
You just make stuff up.
I hate to break it to you.
Okay. You hate to break it to
you, Jola.
Okay.
Party of violence, here. So it doesn't shock me that you defend people running over police officers. It doesn't shock me.
Wait. She didn't run him over. She hit him, right? I thought she just nicked him. She never ran him over.
She would have run him over. Jola, if he had slipped, would she have run him over?
No,
if he couldn't get his gun out, and kill her, would she have ran him over?
In the video, when she backs up, when she backs up, she would have just driven straight into him if she wanted to kill him. She would not have turned away from the guy.
And run him over, which is what she attempted to do, Jola. Quit lying.
She turned the steering wheel away from the guy. You can see the wheels turn away from him.
Going forward.
When she's moving forward, the wheels are turning away from the guy. When she drives forward.
The distraction from reality that you live in is mind-boggling. Where you can look at a video where a woman is trying to run over.
I will. If you contend with facts,
the dereliction from reality is
if you contend with facts,
Jonah.
okay, I want you to talk to me about the facts of what's happening. So when I say, for example, he's at the front left of the car, and when she drives away, the car goes to the right. Do you know why I would make that point?
She doesn't drive away. What do you mean by driving away? You mean when she drove forward into him? Is that what you're talking about? Or
why did the car go? How did the car go?
She never drives away. She gets killed because she tries to kill a cop.
What direction?
Away.
Okay, the cop was at the front left of the car, right? He was in the front of the car to the left of it.
He was moving from the center of the vehicle to the left. Yeah,
when she backed up, he was at the left of the car. Okay, if he was
he's in front of the. Well, yeah, he's in front
in
of
the
the car.
video,
He's not
he's at
to
the left of the car. Okay, yeah, you know he's at the left of the car.
Well, now you're
you saw the
lying.
video.
Maybe,
you know he's at the left of
maybe
the car.
after he kills her.
You can see the
after,
whole video.
After he
She was
shoots
at the
that
left.
bitch.
Well, he had the video.
After he shoots her, yeah, he's to the left.
Okay, so
Yeah.
if he's to the left when the car is going forward, why did she drive to the right?
Why did she still hit him if she's only going forward and he's to the left?
Why did she drive to the right if she wanted to hit him and he was to the left?
Is your who here said? Do you think I have at any point on this call said that her intent was to run him over and kill him? Did I ever say that?
Well, the video I was just
not
reading,
even
the government
that's not even
you
the,
asked
the
me a
barrier
question.
that
You
I
can let me
set,
respond
my
to
brother.
the question. You can let me respond to the question. Okay. So I was responding to JD Vance and Trump, who said that she is a domestic terrorist who was trained by a network of domestic terrorists to use their vehicles to target ICE agents on purpose.
Is it your theory that you know more than the president?
Well, Trump is. You know what Trump said, right? Trump said that the guy was ran over and was recovering in the hospital, and he barely survived. That was not true, right?
Well, that's. I think maybe if you hear something in the, a very busy guy. If he had the time to research stuff that I do,
very busy guy. The president, he can make a huge statement on a huge issue and just not know anything about it. I guess. Nice.
Yeah, just like you. It sounds familiar, and I don't think. Here's the thing.
He's just a busy guy.
I don't think he knew. Is it worse off that he didn't know and said, "Oh yeah, she got that person might be recovering"? Is that what's so bad, or the
if
fact
he
that
didn't
you
know,
want to sit
why
there?
would he call an American citizen a domestic terrorist?
Officers.
Yeah, if the president of the United States of America, if the president of America is going to call a citizen a domestic terrorist and say that she's a member of a radical terrorist group, okay, and he doesn't even know what happened because he thinks that the agent is in the hospital recovering after getting ran over by the car. Do you see how the other claims lose all their value then if they're willing to lie about such an easy detail to spot? Because the guy walked away fine. He wasn't even limping at all.
Well, lying would be what you're doing right now, where you know the truth.
You can't respond to the points. Okay.
Then you don't.
You can't respond to the points. I appreciate the call. I have to talk to. I have to talk to some adults.
So you get to talk over me.
I got to talk to some adults.
So you ask me a question.
Well, you're good for viewership.
You ask me a
actually.
question, and then you just talk over everything I say.
The views are going up. Okay,
that's right.
Okay, go.
That's right. You just talk over every question you answer me, but when I ask you a question, I let you finish.
Okay, don't cry. Don't cry.
Who's crying? Look, I would deflect like you're doing right now if I didn't have any response to the fact that, A, I never said that she intended to kill him. And that point is something you've never addressed once. You're saying, well, Trump said that. I didn't say that. So make an argument. I address an argument I made.
What's your argument?
Not an argument, not some fairy argument.
Okay, what's your argument?
So when did I say that she intended to kill him?
Well, what's your argument?
That with or without intent, she almost ran over that ICE officer. Would you agree on that?
With or without intent, she almost ran over the ICE officer.
Right. It's not a hard question.
It is a hard question because he's to the side of the car.
When you watch the video, did she almost run over that agent? And the answer is yes. There's no debating, unless you want to cry about it like you would.
Now, when you say
that... Do you want to cry about the fact that she almost killed him, or do you want to address reality and see if we can move forward?
Okay, you could say she almost nicked him. She almost nicked him.
Well, she did nick him.
No.
Objectively, she hit him with her car.
You can see the video.
There is no arguing there.
You can see where his legs are and his hands. You can see where his legs and hands are. It was close to nicking him, but not hitting him or running him over. No.
If we can't agree what our eyes are seeing.
No, I can see his two legs right now. I can see his two legs, and I can see his arms over with the phone. He has a phone out right here, and he has the gun reaching over to the windshield.
Do you see ice on the ground? Do you see ice on the ground, Jola?
Ice on the ground? No, they're all standing.
Yeah, yep. Hey, you know what? I can recognize a good joke when I hear one, and I'll give you that.
Thank you for the call. Let's go to someone else. Master Debater. Hello, how's it going? Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
New footage with cleaned up audio. New footage with cleaned up audio shows Renee Good told ICE she was pulling out. She was parked here. She was pulling out. That's why she motions
That's why she motions right there. You see the arm? Okay. She motions, go. She motions, go ahead. She's pulling out. She's about to go left. She's ready to drive left down the road. The ICE agent is walking behind her right now. The guy who shot her with his smartphone out, being a dipshit, right? That car goes. She says, she waves her hand again. Waves her hand again. All right. She says, I'm pulling out right there.
No! No! Shame!
So she says, I'm pulling out. And ICE, by the way, has zero authority to just go up to an American citizen and do that. ICE has no authority. They only can talk about immigration. So she clearly says, after waving 2 cars through, I'm pulling out. You would blame the escalation of this 100% on law enforcement and ICE, who should have any training whatsoever, but they're a bunch of untrained dipshits. Like, why would you do this? She says, I'm pulling out. Why? Why rip her out of her car? What kind of world do we want to live in where federal agents, when you say you're pulling out, can just rip you out of your car when they work on immigration? They don't even have a right to police you or to stop you. Okay. But yeah, the intent argument, the intent that she's a domestic terrorist, the White House, their level of lying here is demonic. It's evil. It's pure evil. There's no other way to really describe it. It's past lying. Like, they are knowingly being evil. If you want to make arguments about split-second decisions, we can argue that. But if you believe that she's a terrorist, you like it's not even a conversation.
Hey, how you doing, man? That last caller was fun.
It was a fun caller. I'm doing good. How are you?
I like your show. I'm sorry, I just got out of the shower, but you
No
just
worries.
touched on a good point about he is a ICE official, but I'm not sure if you're familiar with the term Leo.
Leo, tell me about it.
Well, it stands for law enforcement officer. So I think what the last caller was trying to explain to you was if a police officer who's badged, now the ICE do run with the shiesties and stuff, and it's hard to tell, but he was blatantly telling her to stop, and the roads were hazardous conditions, and he had been tagged 6 months previous. She's in the wrong.
In that video right there, all you can tell is when she waves the cars through, then you hear her say, I'm pulling out. She looks like she's going to pull to the other side of the road. The ICE agent walking around her behind the back of her car with his phone out. Why is he recording a random person on the sidewalk? And why is he walking in front of a moving vehicle while using that phone? And why is he ready to
Because
shoot
her
someone
wife-
while recording with his phone on a smartphone, walking in front of a moving vehicle? That violates every policy.
Well, I'll tell you why. She is the ex-wife of Tim, and I don't want to dox her, but I'm from Colorado Springs, where she's from, and her name's Nikki. It's not Renee. And I know the situation. I'm actually next door neighbors with Tim, her first husband. She had 2, and she is getting into like I said, I want to tread very lightly with this, but I have firsthand information. So I don't know how comfortable you are with me going forward with this, but I'd be glad.
No, I don't want to go off.
of.
I just don't. I mean, I don't trust
I'm
that
telling you
a
what
person
happened.
found
They
my
work-
random
they
YouTube
work-
stream and knows the person
Sure.
involved in this.
No, and I don't want to put you in that. I don't want to put you in that position.
I
but can
wouldn't
tell you,
believe it either.
No, that's fair. I mean, hey, dude, it's coming out of 8 weeks from Sunday. This is crazy coincidence because I called you about a week ago. So I totally agree with that. But I'm telling you that she was there for a reason doing that, and she was in that way. And there's also icy conditions. So if a cop or somebody who looks like a cop that says police tells you to stop, maybe you should just stop and hear them out. You don't need to keep going. You wouldn't do that.
I'm not saying that, like, in that situation, I would not
risk driving away. But when you're in a chill mind state and you're chilling on the road, you're just making a simple U-turn, and you all of a sudden have these out of an unmarked car, two people running up to you.
Yellow line.
This isn't the issue. Who cares about a double yellow line? Okay, like
well, it's illegal. So
who cares about we go through double yellow lines all the time. Okay, we live in different places. Like, who cares? You're talking about a double yellow line, and ICE. Why would it? ICE doesn't do law enforcement. ICE does immigration. No, but regardless, okay, the snow's on the ground. The rules are off when there's snow anyway. People ride their 4-wheelers and snowmobiles through town when there's snow, like in all these areas. Like I lived in an area like that. Like I don't know why you'd bring up a double yellow line.
Because it's illegal, and if a cop is stopping you,
no, that's not a cop though. ICE cannot stop you for that. ICE is not a cop. They cannot stop you.
She was blocking, and you don't think that that
she was waving cars through. An ICE car just got through the road. She waved a car through, right? The first car got through.
Yeah, no one. Well, I don't know the full video. I've only seen the ones online that you have.
Yeah, she waved one car through in the video, and the second car was an unmarked ICE truck. It was just a regular Titan. They hopped out of that car, and they started pulling on her door.
If somebody has police dress and they're telling you to stop, at least you hear them out. And especially if you're a known agitator.
That's funny because a known agitator. Okay, ICE has full masking on. Okay, they have full masking on.
Totally.
They sprung up on her, sprinted up to her. And she had a person, the person who was in front of her that shot her was walking around her vehicle. And as the vehicle is already moving, he places himself in front of the car. That also would get you fired from any law enforcement job if you go in front of a moving car for no reason.
Does she not know that law enforcement's in the area, considering what's happening in that area? Like, come on,
the question
man.
You should be asking, the question you should be asking is why this law enforcement voids all rules, all training to go sprint up to this person who's letting them through, who's waving her hand to let them down the road, who says she's pulling out. Why that federal agent? What constitutional, what rule anywhere says that ICE agent can go rip her door open, her car door open with a full mask on? Like maybe she didn't know who it was. It was an unmarked vehicle. Okay, but we're asking right now. You are putting the standard of a normal civilian in America a million times higher than trained federal law enforcement that's getting paid $50,000 a year sign-on bonuses. Like, how can you even compare the level of responsibility here to handle the situation correctly? They escalated it. They sprung up on her. The one guy was walking around her with the phone out. She probably didn't even know there was a guy there because he walked out in front of the car as she was backing up, doing a 3-point turn. She probably looked behind her to back up and then drove forward again when the guy decided to walk in front of her, recording her and then brings his gun out. Like any law enforcement officer anywhere would be fired from their job if they even walked in front of that car on video. Like they wouldn't be working for that department anymore.
Criminal, and so are the people that ICE is taking care of. I don't have a problem with that.
ICE cannot go after an American citizen. It does not matter. They deal with immigration. They cannot go up to a random American citizen and rip the door open.
How are you supposed to know until you investigate?
Because in America, if a federal agent sees you and says, that guy looks funny, they can't just come and rip your door open because they think you look like an immigrant.
Yeah.
That's racial profiling or whatever. And she's a white girl. She's a white woman, okay? She's a white woman.
Your friends in New York used to do it, and it was a law. So, I mean, it's precedent. And we're in uncharted territory.
We don't want
different.
And that's why we're against this. We don't want unidentified federal agents who are just signing on now. Most Americans don't want ICE going through our communities. Anyone who has had ICE in their community does not like them. No.
Well, okay, look, man, I like your show and I like your perspective. You make some good points, but most of us have voted for this guy. It's not like it wasn't a mandate.
Yeah, he has a 30% approval rating now. Yeah,
it's
he lost half his support.
I don't want this to happen to people on the regular. It's a shame, but it happened to Ashley Babbitt, and anyone who thinks January 6th wasn't just a bad Raiders tailgate party, one person
What happened
died.
to Ashley Babbitt? What happened to Ashley Babbitt?
Well, she's from San Diego originally.
Are you comparing this to Ashley Babbitt?
She crawled through, because I could compare it to Charlie Kirk. I could be like, sometimes you gotta
What? You can't compare it to Charlie Kirk either.
Yes, I can.
No, this is the federal government, federal agents when they've been doing known abuses of power, and this is the conclusion of that.
In New York, And here's the thing. The ironic thing is I agree that Luigi should have killed that guy.
Wait,
I got no problem
how
with
are you
that.
comparing this to Luigi Mangione, Charlie Kirk,
Okay,
and
Kyle
Ashley Babbitt? Are you just
Let's
an
use
AI?
Kyle
Are
Rittenhouse.
you an AI
People
hooked up to
have
the
to
internet for
die
top
for
Twitter
things.
topics?
No. People
What?
have to die for change to happen, and it's unfortunate. It was
Okay,
this
have a
young
good
lady.
night. Like, what? What? Please drop a like. Follow the page. We almost have 200 likes. 200 likes. Thank you for $5, Sri. And thank you for $9, Kate. Can you please wish my friend Corey happy birthday on stream? He's a Fed. Oh, thank you, Kate. Kate Ion, $9 on Venmo. Thank you so much. Can you please wish my friend Corey happy birthday on stream? He's a Fed. Frowny face. Thank you so much. I just saw that now. Thank you for $5, Sri. Thank Kate and Sri in chat. But yeah, really appreciate your support. Joel Up Politics. You can donate on Cash App or Venmo. The @ is the same as my YouTube name. You can donate on there. Become a patron on patreon.com for more consistent funding if you want to support independent media and these conversations. That guy just tried comparing Charlie Kirk, Ashley Babbitt. Someone said, call me. If you want me to call you, donate $10 with your phone number. It's a guaranteed call. Donate $10 and send your phone number in the donation message. 200 likes. Thank you, guys. Last caller. Hello?
Last caller.
Hello, 239.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Pretty good. I was just wondering if you can play the other angles of the video.
Which other
justify-
angle?
The front angle. So all angles. There's several angles on YouTube.
What, like the angle Megyn Kelly shared? Let me see.
No, I haven't even seen that one. There's other angles. It doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah, 1 second. There was one front angle. I know she shared one. Why can't I find it? I hate that. Oh, Twitter sucks. Nice.
So I think Officer Tatum posted a video of the front angle.
Okay, Officer Tatum. I do know the front angle is what Republicans want to share because they think it looks more favorable for the ICE agent. So we can look at that one and see if anybody thinks it looks any different. I'm scrolling down the Tatum page, but of course they do. Of course they do post around 5,000 times a day.
That's fine, but you've seen the front
Let me
angle.
find it. I'm trying
and
to
you're
find
saying
it.
that Republicans are posting that video, but what I see too is the Democrats are only showing the view that you're showing. Which
Well, that view
obviously
is-
shows two different stories.
Well, that view is good because you could see her motions when she's using her hand to say go down the street. She was letting people go down the street.
But the people she's letting go is the ICE agents.
Yeah, she was not blocking the road. She was letting the ICE agent go down the road. So you could see that she wasn't trying to like impede them from going down the road. She was going to let them go.
Right, but if let's say you were driving and you see any type of agent or anybody, it doesn't matter if it's an ICE agent, a police officer, let's say it's just a civilian, are you going to keep going? Or are you going to stop?
Well, the cars
There
are
was
not.
no rush, there was no other cars.
Well, she was turning around and she stopped for them. She did stop, and they're unmarked vehicles as well. But she did stop, and she was going to wave them down the road.
But then she kept going once the ICE agents came out of the car and approached her. Anybody else would stop.
Okay.
And if it wasn't an ICE agent, it could be a civilian. That person can be charged and possibly for attempted murder.
Not for attempted murder in that situation. It would be, if you would make an argument for that, it'd be like endangerment. It would not be attempted murder because she had no intent to hurt anybody. She was driving away from them. Now, this is the angle that conservatives want to show.
So do you think she did everything she was supposed to do?
I think the federal agents violated pretty much every rule in the book. And it's their responsibility.
My question was about her. Specifically her. We can talk about the ICE agents. I do think that they approached her, a little harsh, but do you feel that she did what was appropriate? Or could she have avoided the situation?
I think that anybody can avoid any situation if she would have just luckily, she was already in motion. Okay. She said I was going to pull out. And then she had a fight or flight reaction, which is why law enforcement is not supposed to charge somebody like that. They're supposed to communicate and show their faces. So there's a trust and everything there. The guy who was in front of her car was circling behind her vehicle, recording like a protester. And then he walked in front of the car, still recording the car. And then when she drives forward, she tries to turn away to make sure she doesn't fully hit him. That same guy who was recording with his phone then shoots her. And then after she gets shot, and this is the angle that I'm showing on screen that Republicans want to share because you can't see much. It's super far away. And it looks like you can see him leaning on the car too in this. You can see him literally leaning into the car, and he leans into the car, reaches over, shoots through the windshield. Then he follows the car and shoots in the driver's side window. The what?
Are you saying he was faking it and being dramatic?
Faking what?
Because it shows that he was hit. We're not saying that he was killed or he went under the car. He was still hit. And you can't say that that she was turning the car. Obviously, when she was coming out, like you said, was trying to do a 3-point turn, or you said a U-turn, whatever she was trying to do, she was already going to make a right, and that agent was there.
Actually, she was trying to turn left the entire time. She was trying to turn left the entire time. That was the whole point of her letting cars go.
So then why did she go towards the officer?
She didn't. She was going to turn left.
There was officers, if you think about it, there was officers pretty much surrounding her.
If she wanted to, do you disagree? Do you think she was targeting the officer to run him over?
No, I don't think that, but I do think that she did not do what she was supposed to do.
Just so we know where we are. So you think that Trump and Vance are lying when they say she's a trained domestic terrorist who wanted to target law enforcement and kill them?
No, honestly, I don't care what Trump and Vance.
No, that's fine, but you disagree with their perspective. No, I just want to know you disagree with them though. You disagree with them on that?
Honestly, let me finish this. I don't care what they're saying. I'm seeing from my own eyes.
Yeah, your own eyes. Yeah. You disagree with me, and you disagree with them too, right? You're in the middle of us, right?
No, heck no, I'm not in the middle.
Wait, you disagree with Trump though? Trump said she's a trained domestic terrorist. You don't believe that, right?
If I knew exactly her intent, why she was there, I also see other people yelling at the ICE agents too. So it's really hard to tell. The video is very short. We don't see what transpired from the beginning.
It's really sad knowing you're not an independent thinker, because I thought we were having a good conversation, but you can't say anything against Daddy Trump, which is really upsetting.
Well, I'm not gonna. You're asking me if I'm independent. I'm telling you that I'm going based off of the video.
Yeah, but based off the video, okay, how about this, Elise? We're doing a sanity check, though. It's a sanity check, so we know where we're coming from. So, when Trump said the officer got ran over and he barely survived and he was recovering in the hospital, that was not true.
Like I said, I don't care. My argument is what I see.
Yeah, but you saw that was not true, right?
I saw what we all saw.
Yeah, so when Trump saw the video and he said the guy got ran over and barely survived, that was not true.
I don't know. I didn't hear that. All I'm saying is my argument.
Well, Trump said that. Okay, if Trump said that, it would be wrong, is what you're saying.
She was an innocent bystander?
No, I'm asking you just like, let's just focus on that one point really quick. Focus on the one point. If Trump said the officer got ran over and he barely survived, the agent, that would be wrong, right? He did not get ran over and barely survived. So Trump was wrong about that if he said it.
He got ran over. I don't know if he survived. I don't know. Did you hear that he didn't?
Ooh, this is really sad because you were doing good in this conversation, but now if you watch the video, you know the guy walked away from it, right? He just walked away. You saw the video. There was no bumping. There was no guy under the car. So like this is an issue because when Trump says something that's so crazy, like he got ran over, he's barely surviving in the hospital, and everyone can see that the guy walked away. They are now going to question your sanity because any person who watched the video knows the guy did not get ran over, and you have to defend Trump. You're such a partisan. You're such a partisan that you have to defend Trump. No matter what, but you can just say like you can just tell me. Okay, you can just tell me then. You can just tell me. Okay, in your own opinion. Okay, fine. Leave Trump out of it. Leave Trump out of it.
You're the one that brought him up.
Okay, fine. Okay, let's leave Trump out of it. Okay.
I'm talking about what me and you saw. So I'm asking for your opinion.
Yeah, okay, I'll ask for your opinion. Okay.
You keep bringing them
Do
up.
you think, no more Trump. Do you think the agent got ran over and barely survived? And he was in the hospital for critical injuries?
I'm pretty sure he was okay. I'm pretty sure he had injuries.
Do you think he got ran over directly and barely survived?
No, I don't think that. I'm talking about what I see on the video.
So on the video,
not just by one angle.
Yeah, every angle he walks away. So we know that he did not get critical serious injuries whatsoever. He walked away fine.
I'm pretty sure he did. I can't tell you 100%, neither can you. He didn't have any injuries.
It's really cute that you could answer that question when I did not bring up Trump. So Trump was lying about that. Great. Nice that we pinned that down.
What are you talking about? Oh my God.
You wouldn't answer that question until I took Daddy Trump out of it. I'm happy I got an answer. Okay.
Crazy.
I just had to trick you to give me an answer because you wouldn't give me an answer until I took Trump out of it, but you gave me an answer.
You just made up a whole story in your head of something I did not say at all.
I asked you that same exact question. I asked you that same exact question, but I said Trump said it, and you refused to answer
Trump again, and I never mentioned Trump in what I had just said.
Okay. Do you know what I mean, though? Do you know what I'm trying to say, though? I'm not trying to make you mad. I'm just saying that when I asked you, did the guy get run over and was he in critical condition, like Trump said? You refuse. No, but you see what I mean. You refused to answer when Trump was involved. Then I took Trump out of it. Then you answered me. It's just cute.
I
appreciate that.
I'm going to say something.
Okay,
if I
appreciate
told you that I did not listen to that part. I did not listen to what Trump said. I am telling you what I am seeing with my own two eyes.
Okay.
And I asked you the question, do you think she did what she was supposed to do? I also don't agree that she should have been shot or dead.
Do you think I think she should have not driven at all. I think that knowing
I think
that
she should have stopped the car when she saw people coming at her. Like anybody else could have walked to her car.
See, that's hard though. That's a different. I agree with law enforcement, but ICE is in unmarked vehicles with full masking on. They could be cartel members. It's hard to tell when they sprint at your car like that. But yeah, if you know the news and you know that there's ICE around, you know that they're pretty chaotic. I would not take a chance with those untrained animals. Okay, so I would have stopped if I were her. But that being said, the responsibility, do you think the agents did anything wrong?
Yeah, I think she probably shouldn't have gotten shot. I mean, it really depends. It really depends on what they felt. We can't say what her intent was. We can't say, that the ICE agents didn't feel in danger. We can't say that for either one. I think it could have ended very different if the lady would have just stopped.
Yeah, but when you're a civilian and you're just driving in your car, things happen within like 5 seconds. These things are super, super quick that decide if somebody lives or not.
Which is why she got shot.
But the thing is, when you're a trained agent of the government and you are able to carry a firearm, you have a certain rule. There's certain rules. There's certain training you get. So if a cop stops you at night for a speeding ticket, he's not going to sprint up to your door and start grabbing on your door handle to say get out of the car. That's illegal, and that would also result in violence and If a cop did that, I'd probably get kind of scared. If a cop ran up to me, started just like tugging on my door, without even announcing themselves or talking first. So the first thing you're supposed to do in law enforcement in that environment
So
is
you're
just
gonna go and try to run them over?
no. Okay,
Or
so
flee from them?
the first thing you're supposed to do is talk to the person. So she waved 2 cars down the road and she said, I'm pulling out. And the one guy comes out the car, he motions for her to leave. But the second guy comes out and sprints up to her door, says, get the fuck out of the car, get out of the car right now, get out of the car, and starts ripping on her door handle. That is how you escalate as law enforcement a situation with a civilian who's not expecting anything. And at that point, you also have the third agent walking around recording people for fun, and walking in front of the already moving car. So you have 3 huge errors there that puts a citizen in extreme danger. And you would probably say that the federal agent who is legally able to carry a gun and to do these activities, they should know in training that the communication comes first. They should probably show their faces if they're dealing with a civilian population, but they don't do that because they want, for whatever reason. And they also should not be getting in front of any car, let alone a moving car. Those 3 things from the agents, I would put their responsibility a million times above a random civilian.
So are you saying she did no wrong?
I'm saying that the responsibility is on the federal law enforcement to follow their training, and they put her in a terrible position. I said that me in that position. I think that she should have stopped, but it's also murder. What happened? And then the should have stopped is not a legal thing. It's a thing where the federal agents were severely lackadaisical. They were not following any training protocols whatsoever. They were treating it like a game. It was an illegal stop. She was waving people to go down the road. It was totally unnecessary. And you're just asking for a tragedy to happen if your federal law enforcement is going to be violating so many rules. So yeah, ideally, I would have stopped in that situation, but I would still say that guy is responsible for murder, and the other guys, or not. I mean, maybe manslaughter. And state laws are different. So like Minnesota law might be manslaughter. I read a little bit about manslaughter in Minnesota with the George Floyd stuff and a few other cases. But yeah, it doesn't change my opinion on the overall events, because you know what I mean. Like I put the onus, the responsibility on the federal agents to not violate all those rules and laws and everything.
So do you agree that we need more context, because the videos that they're showing are very short? It's almost like where everything happened, but we don't know exactly what was transpiring before that?
So the only thing we can tell from the video, if I was writing like a list of things we can tell from the video, is that she was looking to make some type of U-turn, pulling out from somewhere. There was a person following behind with an agent also. They were recording each other. She motions with her hand for one car to go through. She motions for the second car to go through. The second car stops. Then the agents hop out. The one says leave, which is a contradicting order from the other one that goes up and says get out of the car. So the contradicting orders with law enforcement is actually a really huge cause of stuff like this happening, because they get told to leave by one, they get told to get out of the car by the other, and then all of a sudden one pops from behind the car in front of her. So she was no threat. And that's why I'm saying this entire situation was created purely by the federal agents. If they would have gotten out of that car and said, "Hey, miss, what are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm pulling out." And it's like, "Where are you going?" "That way? The road's closed, blah, blah, blah." That would have been a normal engagement. But for some reason, these fully masked federal agents had to go like rip on her car door. And you know what I mean? Like that environment should have never even existed. She was doing nothing. She was just stopped letting cars through at the start of the video. I mean, maybe there's other context where she's a, superhero, evil villain. But from what we know in the video, that's my main takeaway. And when she drove forward, the guy came from behind her car. She did not see him going to the front of the car. She turned the wheels away from where the guy was. Because if she wanted to hit that guy in front, if she wanted to hit that guy, if she was targeting him, if you watch the video, he would be under that car if that was her goal. But she was turning away, and that's why he was to the left of the car. He fired 3 of the shots through the driver's side mirror, or driver's side window, one through the very far right of the windshield at like an angle. And she moved right down the road away from him. So that's all we can tell from the video. And that's why I'm so mad at the president for calling her a domestic terrorist, and JD Vance, the vice president, for saying she's funded with a terrorist network and all this other stuff. Yeah.
But that's basically what Walt is doing too, and condemning the ICE agents. Where this was a tragedy for whatever reason it was, but Walt is doing the same thing, and it's federal. How are you going to have patriots going against federal agents? It's not good. It's not healthy. It promotes violence.
I would disagree.
So we say, okay, how?
So I would say that in the video, when they say, when like, just to start off with the Trump thing, they say she's a domestic terrorist. What information do they have about that? She's a mom. She had toys in the passenger door. There's no history of her being like a super radical activist that we know of. She was waving cars through. That's all we know about her. When you look at the law enforcement there, like that's enough for all of them to lose their jobs off their tactics alone. And this is something ICE has been doing all throughout America. So like watching the video, I 100% can blame the federal agents already based off that with no further information. Unless if something crazy comes out, like she's a known serial killer or something. But like immigration law enforcement.
I would say even if she was, like, that's why I'm saying we need more context, because we don't know if she was there telling them things, or, who knows what. 'Cause there's so many things we're seeing. We're looking at the riots now that's happening. So we can't tell what happened.
I didn't really see any riots necessarily. I don't know if there might be some people doing bad things. But do you disagree with any of the stuff I said about the agents and how many rules and how much training they violated when they were doing that?
I can't
or do
say
you
that
disagree
for
on
sure,
any
because
points?
I don't know what they sell, and also, like I said, I need more context. I don't know if she was instigating something prior to this incident, where already had the agents on high alert. The same way you can't say for sure that she did not have intent to run him over. And you're saying that he was to the left. No, he was in front of the car. Not completely. I'm not saying he was in the middle, but when she turned, it was towards him. That there's no other reason, because if not, he wouldn't have gotten hit.
In the ideal world, I would want all these conversations to wait until there's an investigation. I think that most people would want to wait until there's all this information. But it's really difficult because I have enough in that video, and in this economy of attention and news, the Trump approach works because they make huge, bold claims right when things happen. Like when the plane crashed at the beginning of the presidency, they said, oh, it's DEI. That was the reason the plane crashed, before the bodies were even recovered. When Charlie Kirk was shot, they said it was a radical Democrat, Antifa super soldier, before we even knew who the killer was. And although we know, like, Ronald Reagan's shooter was not ideological. Sometimes just crazy people do things, but they said it was a leftist. So when you have all these different things happen, you have Trump come out right after, and he says this is a domestic terrorist, and she's a part of a network of leftist funding groups for domestic terrorist cells all across America, and we need to go crack down on all of them with zero information. If the president can do that based off of no information whatsoever, then in my mind, I have no choice but to say that these agents acting in this way, they can take down a license plate. If she was being an issue, she wanted to leave, they could take down a license plate. There's a million ways they could have handled this before escalating to the point that they did. And when I see this agent walking around the car, recording with his phone, like, we have to remember the guy who shot her was walking around the car, recording with his phone, like bickering with somebody else outside of the car, she's already backing up. Then the guy walks in front of the car, still recording her. And to shoot her, he doesn't jump out of the way of the car. He doesn't, in my opinion, if he felt like he was in danger, he would have jumped out the way, but he stays in there. He has his phone up still as he's shooting her. So he shoots her with the phone still in his hand. What kind of law enforcement activity would be allowed in America where you walk in front, like, she backs up, he walks in front of the car with the phone, then he shoots her in the head, and then she's past him already. He follows the car more. You can see him jogging. 3 of the shots went through the driver's side window. So off of that alone, I would say, like, saying that's a murder, I would rather a world where no politicians do any of this. But in this current environment where, Trump can say she's a domestic terrorist, I have no choice, and I don't think Tim Walz has any choice but to give some type of take. I hate breaking news, but I feel like there's no choice but to participate, because if Tim Walz doesn't say that, then the narrative of Trump would win.
A better person and de-escalate the tension between the Republicans and the Democrats, even though they may not understand each other. But going head to head is not the answer. That is the problem that we have. And
how
one
can
side or
they
the
do
other
that?
Is being the better person. Also not being professional, because I've never seen such a thing happen where it seems like none of them have any proper education, manners, morals. I would never in my years would have ever thought that the government would be speaking the way that they speak on both sides.
Yeah, but
And
so
Joe,
if we bring up this is why it's really difficult, because
let's not bring up Joe Biden.
No, but Joe Biden's words that he said.
Oh my gosh, if you bring up that retard.
Joe Biden's words that he said, him and Pelosi are quoted in saying
said
that.
Nothing. He was barely alive. He said nothing.
Hey, hang with me for a second. Hang with me. Okay, Biden and Pelosi and multiple other Democrats have said that America needs. Hey, please stay with me. Okay, they have both said that America needs a strong Republican Party, that they want a conservative party that can survive in America. They respect both sides. They want both sides to be active in America. They don't like MAGA Republicans, but they want regular Republicans back. They said that multiple times. And when you compare
said that about Democrats too. Trump has even said that. Everybody has said that. The Democrats now are not the Democrats.
Donald Trump this year has called Democrats all extremist domestic terrorists dozens and dozens of times. That is the position of the White House. Trump has said to the military directly at rallies that Democrats are gnats we need to take care of in America. They are a problem we need to get rid of in America. He has said to the military. He said that he hates every other American that doesn't support him. Trump has had the most inflammatory language of any president in American history. And if he is going to come up after this situation and call this woman a domestic terrorist and say there's a huge network of domestic terrorists out there, and if JD Vance is going to blame every liberal for Charlie Kirk dying when one crazy person did something, those are extremely inflammatory. Those are calls for, if you're going to say every liberal is responsible for every crime that's ever done, then you're calling for, that is a call for violence in many ways. And
I agree.
How can Democrats de-escalate if the president's going to say that?
Nazis, racist, all the phobic.
So if Tim Walz can say, if Tim Walz sees the video, and most people in America agree that's a murder. Like most people who saw the video think like, okay, that was not justified. What the hell is going on? They shot her in the head 4 times and the guy was already like on the side of the car. Most people can come away with that reaction like right away. And ICE has been doing this stuff all across America. There's ICE agents who have bragged about shooting people already. Like on their phone, they bragged about how many shots they can hit. You can Google this. I'm not lying about this. Everyone can Google this. If Tim Walz cannot say his opinion on these activities, and Trump is able to say that there's a domestic terrorist network out there, and therefore this woman is a domestic terrorist trained by these organizations, and every left-wing organization needs to be defunded and banned in America. That is not even somewhat equal. Like if Republicans, if Donald Trump, the day Donald Trump condemns all political violence, I will shit my pants. Like I'm waiting to hear it.
I think he's tried to say that, but nobody's listening.
He was on Fox and Friends after Charlie Kirk died. He was on Fox and Friends. Look it up. Please look it up.
All the phobics, racist.
Please look it up. Please look it up. On Fox and Friends after Charlie Kirk died.
Where they edited a video which caused so many issues.
After Charlie Kirk died on Fox and Friends, Donald Trump said...
Democrats and liberals made fun of him. Who does that? I'm even telling you as a Republican.
Yeah, it's really bad to do that. It's really bad. Yeah, it's bad to do that. Those random people on Twitter suck. I hate random people on Twitter. They are mean people. Okay, yeah, people on Twitter are mean. Okay, yeah, I agree. Donald Trump, after Charlie Kirk died, he said that left-wing violence is the main issue in America, and he said right-wing violence is justified because right-wing violence is a response to left-wing violence. He said right-wing violence is okay, left-wing violence is not okay. He pardoned all the cop abusers. He pardoned, like, he's helping Ghislaine Maxwell get a sweetheart deal in prison. She's playing with puppies now and doing ceramics instead of being in a tough prison like she's supposed to be. Like, Trump is very pro crime and pro violent rhetoric. He has never said there. You cannot, if you can find me this, then send it. If you can find Trump condemning all political violence in America, then please send it, because I can find it from AOC, I can find it from Bernie, I can find it from Pelosi, I can find it from all of them. I cannot find one thing from. Wait, can you contend with my words instead of just being mad at characters like you're watching a TV show? It's not a reality TV show. Hey, wake up. Hey, are you an adult?
Yes, I am.
Okay, then talk about the actual ideas. Okay, I can't, because certain words trigger you. You have TDS for everybody. Like, don't get triggered by words. What I'm saying is Donald Trump has never condemned all political violence. All the other people on the Democratic side, all these politicians have done that.
Donald Trump. That's it. Okay, I'm done. Stop being triggered by Donald Trump. Not everything has to do with Donald Trump.
I'm making points around it. I'm not just getting mad. You heard the word AOC. You heard the word AOC. Went, AOC. I don't like AOC. Joe Biden. I don't like Joe Biden. You won't even listen to the words I'm saying.
I don't think you have.
Because you're not an adult. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We can go. I've heard you do this with other callers. They're deflecting. You have nothing
else
to say.
What am I deflecting from?
All you want to do is talk.
Wait, what am I
about
deflecting
Trump
from? Wait, what am I deflecting from?
Trump has all the.
Wait, tell me what I'm deflecting from. Tell me. What am I deflecting from?
Well, you just got off topic because I said something about AOC when you've been talking garbage about JD Vance and everybody else and Trump, when we're just trying to have a different conversation, forgetting about Trump.
What was the point of what I was saying?
I made a comment of AOC and it triggered
What
me.
is the point of what I was saying?
At the end of the day, AOC doesn't know what the heck she's talking about.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, there's your opinion. Okay, so what I was saying is, when it comes to political violence and political rhetoric, all the Democratic elected officials, I know people on Twitter are mean, okay? People on Twitter are super mean, okay? But Democratic elected officials have all condemned all political violence. Donald Trump, they asked him multiple times, he refused to condemn all political violence. He said it's okay if the right wing does it.
If that's what he said, I can tell you yes or no.
I appreciate the call.
Yes or no, but I can tell you that liberals do the same thing, and probably worse when you call people Nazis and racists and autophobics, while they don't want kids to transition. While nobody's racist, anybody can be a racist. It just
true.
Like you said,
Everybody is a racist. Yes.
It could be one person. It doesn't mean that one side is racist and the other one is not.
But do you see how I have examples of people that I'm bringing up, like Democratic leaders, not people on Twitter?
Democrats can be violent.
Yeah, everyone can be violent, but we're talking about the leaders of the party.
Just as Trump says it doesn't mean let's go ahead and be violent.
I agree, but when we talk about the president or elected officials, mean people on Twitter are mean from all different ideologies.
I don't know. I don't have Twitter. So I
okay,
don't know
mean people on the internet.
I don't know about X, Twitter,
mean people on the internet in general. Okay, mean people who are random people. You're going to find mean people who are random people everywhere. But when it comes to elected officials is what I'm talking about. And the leaders of the parties, there has been no acceptance. There's no Democrats saying, oh, domestic or political violence is okay from the left, but not the right, like Trump said. They say all political violence is bad, whether it's a Democrat who dies or a Republican. They have said that each time. But Trump as the president should be turning the temperature down. As the president of America, I want him to say less political violence, but he has refused to say it, and I'm looking forward to when he does. I appreciate the call. We've been talking for a while. Definitely feel free to call in again sometime. Talking for a half hour.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. See you. AOC. It's tough, dude. So, like, if I bring up names, so I was saying, like, well, Trump refused to condemn political violence, okay? Right? He refused to condemn political violence. And then I say, like, well, Pelosi, Bernie, AOC. AOC! Oh, I don't like AOC! That is derangement syndrome, okay? If you bring up Trump, I'll say something I don't like if it's in the conversation. But if you leave the conversation to say, oh, Donald Trump, that is Trump derangement syndrome. Okay. I got annoyed because I was trying to make another point, but it became AOC Joe Biden. It's like, yeah, Joe Biden wanted bipartisanship. Like, it's all he talked about. He loved that shit. Joe Biden loved bipartisanship. That's all he wanted. He was too bipartisan.
He gave credit to Republicans when they didn't even deserve it at times for bills like the Infrastructure Bill, for the CHIPS Act, Inflation Reduction Act. What is this? If you enjoy the show, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. We have 230 likes, meaning it's our most liked stream since I came back a week ago. So I appreciate that. Joel Up Politics on Cash App or Venmo if you want to support the show. Democrat thought domestic terrorists because they said mean word to me. If I get another donation, I can do another call. JK, I'm gonna go to bed. It's a good 60,000 views. How long have we been going? Only what? 2 hours? I've been doing 2 hours because I don't want to get drained, and I won't run out of content either. Let's see. She was shot and killed by an ICE officer shortly after dropping her 6-year-old off at school. Like, she just dropped off her 6-year-old at school and had the 6-year-old's toys in the passenger side. She wasn't instigating. She dropped her 6-year-old off at school, dude. Sad. Another call. Thank you for $5. Thank you for watching. Wow, you should do another call. Fine. I'll see what one more person has to say. Anyone edit videos? Anyone want to edit videos for free? Hello. Howdy, what's up?
How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Good.
What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about a lot of things that you kind of talked to the last viewer about.
Nice. Where do you want to start?
Well, I want to start with a big portion where you were talking about, elected officials didn't, on the Democratic side, they didn't really talk about violence.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is, it's really easy to say that they don't talk about violence, and a lot of things are projecting. Democrats project a lot of things that they're doing on the Republican Party, and here's where I'm gonna come up with some proof on you. Like Maxine Waters, you get in their faces. You go to these restaurants, you get in their faces. Schumer, you've created a whirlwind. I mean, you talk about all these Democratic leaders that have incited violence, but yet they just go back to January 6th and they try to say that he incited violence, but yet there's already a lawsuit because there was misinformation. And
are you saying Chuck Schumer incited violence by saying they created a whirlwind?
Yeah, if you listen to the whole thing, yes, but not just by that word, yeah.
Chuck Schumer. You're saying Chuck Schumer, the guy who won't even talk about taxing rich people, the guy who like kowtows to the Trump admin all the time, like Chuck Schumer, the boring Chuck Schumer that could barely, like, he has no charisma. That Chuck Schumer, you're saying is calling for political violence based off of a whirlwind comment.
Not just based off that whirlwind comment. If you look at the whole speech that he had, yes. But I want to go back to Maxine Waters. Do you agree that Maxine Waters incited violence?
What violence did she incite? What did she say?
You get in their faces. You go to these restaurants. You get in their faces and you tell them that you do not agree with them.
Protest?
For me, that's inciting violence, right?
Get in their faces means violence? No. That means protest.
That means protest. So if you get in their faces, that doesn't mean violence. That means just protest, and just like putting.
I wouldn't say it like that personally.
The Summer of Love. I mean, they're out there. They were setting buildings on fire.
The Summer of Love, Maxine Waters. You're kind of going down the dialogue tree a little bit with that. Now, I'm talking about directly state-sponsored So like January 6th was state-sponsored violence after Trump pardoned all the terrorists. Like that was sponsored by Trump.
What was their names?
So I
What was
don't
the
have
names
their
of the
names
terrorists?
pulled up right now, but so there's videos
Right.
of them. There's videos of them
You also
using lead poles to hit officers. There's videos of them using electrical shock on officers' neck, trying to gouge their eyes out. Multiple officers with traumatic brain injuries, which were seen on camera. There's people yelling, "We
people
got
died
one! We
that
got
day?
one!"
How many
180
people died that
officers.
day?
180 officers were injured that day, and
Were there?
I think 9
100
total
hold
died
on.
after from traumatic brain injuries.
180 officers were injured, is what you said, right?
Yeah.
Can you name 2?
I don't memorize their names. I
One.
just know how many were
Let's
injured.
let's just go 1.
Here, yeah, okay. They're on the CNN special yesterday. Here you
Yeah,
go. Let me find it.
so-
I don't remember. I can memorize their names for you if you want. Are you contesting
I'm
that
not gonna-
180 officers were
I'm
injured
gonna
on January
promise you,
6th?
I'm not going to look up nothing on my phone while I'm talking to you. I'm just going to let you do your thing. Go in there. I'll give you time. There was really only one person that was killed, and she was unarmed. Her name was Ashley Babbitt.
So, like,
Can you tell me anything about Ashley Babbitt?
yeah, she deserves to be
And what
dead.
happened and how that happened?
No, she deserves to be dead.
That rhetoric is pretty harsh, you know. It's kind of like Charlie Kirk, you know, when everybody said he deserved to be dead, you know.
No.
political violence-
Charlie Kirk did not run through the barricades at the Capitol while cops were saying don't come in and cops were beaten bloody. Charlie Kirk did not do that. He was just
Beaten
debating
bloody.
people.
What cop died?
Here,
was beaten bloody during that.
So officers Hodges and Fanone, they're going through their January 6th body cam videos. When we talk about political violence, do you think that people need to die on the spot for it to be violent?
I don't think there should be any deaths regardless. I think that there should be free speech. I think that, you know, the way that it is done in the past, when you're talking about people that responded politically and did it in a certain way that didn't resolve in violence, I think that's the correct message to be heard. But the problem is that you hear on the left that the right wing is so violent and they've done so many things. But then you see Steve Scalise, you see the president being shot at, you see all these things that are politically motivated towards that. And then the only feedback you get was like, well, Hortman, you know, we're talking about a Democratic person that was killed.
Yeah,
And
by
I
a
think
Trump
none of
supporter.
that is great. None of that is good. But if you go back and look at it, you can actually see.
Yeah, but the thing is that
3 days prior.
Okay,
three
so
days
about
prior, she voted against Medicare for illegal immigrants.
Hey,
But then
buddy,
yet
look
3
it up for
days,
2
she
seconds.
was-
The guy's kill list had like 70 people on it. They were all pro-choice advocates. He was a Christian nationalist, very anti-abortion. He's a big Trump supporter. Okay, he had a huge list of people who voted for that bill for illegals to get health care in Minnesota. He was going to kill them too.
Against that bill.
The
She
other
voted
people he
against
shot
having
voted for
illegal
it.
immigrants
The
having
other people
Medicaid.
voted for it that he was going to kill because he was a Trump
She
supporter.
voted against having Medicaid for illegal
Yeah,
immigrants.
yeah,
But
she did vote
you're
against that
telling
bill.
me that a Trump supporter or somebody on the right did that? I mean, that just
Yeah,
that
the
doesn't add
guy,
up.
the guy's roommate confirmed he's a Trump supporter. He himself said he'd be offended to be called a liberal. His list. Hey, listen. You're okay. You can hear. Okay, if you look up the guy's kill list, it had 70 plus people on it. Okay, and some of them were just people who were pro-choice advocates and other politicians in Minnesota who voted for the bill that the Hortmans, that Melissa Hortman voted against. Okay, so he was going to go kill more Democrats and more pro-choice advocates. It was not just her. He went to multiple
even though
houses.
She voted against the bill. He went after her. So we can admit if that was the case, then he's out there. He's crazy.
Why would he go for all? Yeah, he's crazy. All the people that do that stuff is crazy. The thing that matters here, there's going to be random people that do terrible things.
And we have to be careful with our rhetoric to make sure that people are not inspired to do crazy things. But the issue is when this guy goes and he kills Hortman in Minnesota, Donald Trump shares video saying it was one of Tim Walz's friends, which is deranged. The guy hated Tim Walz too. He would have killed him if he was able to. He was on like a business board for the state of Minnesota, and those business boards, the governor doesn't even manage those things. But they say he's Tim Walz's friend. The guy says he's a Trump supporter. He was a big anti-vaxxer. His roommate said he's a Trump supporter. If you look up the guy, his name is like Vance Bolter, huge like right-wing like Christian nationalist. Okay. But Trump will say, the official government will say that he is a liberal and lie about it. Or for January 6th, the issue there. And I think rioting's bad with BLM, but there were no BLM protesters pardoned by the president, or like there's no Democrats who led BLM protesters to stop the transfer of power when Trump became president in 2016. In 2016, there were no riots at the Capitol. Liberals don't like Trump. There were no riots at the Capitol, but in 2020 there were. Okay, that's because Trump encouraged that mob to come there. Now you can have different levels of responsibility, but you have to contend with when Hillary lost in 2016, there were no riots going to stop the Capitol votes.
Are you talking about January 6th? Are you talking about, he incited violence at January 6th? Do you believe that?
I think he wanted violence to happen. Yeah.
That's not the question though. Like, did he incite violence?
In a legal sense, or like is he the cause of it, like just in general?
So let's put together Maxine Waters. It said you get in the face of people, you do this, you get in restaurants, you tell them how you feel, versus Trump that said let's patriotically and peacefully protest. When you look at the two things and you talk about people inciting violence, it's really hard
that's
to
not
say
all
that
he
anybody
said.
on the right. Hold on. Give me a second. If anybody on the right has incited violence, I would like to hear that verbatim worded, that verbiage. But I could see that on many times on the left where it is. I mean,
okay, so for Donald Trump on January 6th, okay, the entire
speech.
speech, okay, let me get for the, you can't keep it just, okay, and on January 6th, he told his supporters that Mike Pence is making a real bad decision. He told Mike Pence privately, you're way too honest. Knowing the election was not stolen, and we know all the investigations that are never going to come out now from the Jack Smith stuff, like there's text messages where Republicans, Trump's own allies knew he was going to be doing some crazy shit. When he tells his supporters, your country is going to fall, it's going to collapse, your children are going to be killed by immigrants, your wives are going to be killed, this country will never, you're all going to be in jail, you're all going to die if this election is if the power is transferred. And if we don't stop it, all this bad stuff is going to happen. And in America, in any democracy, elections are the pinnacle of everything. It sets laws, it sets the military. Trusted elections are the biggest thing you can possibly have in a democracy. You need it to function.
He stole the election?
Well, he tried stealing it. It definitely wasn't stolen from him.
No,
and he knew that.
Like Trump stole the election.
When? No.
That got him to be president now.
No.
In 2024. Okay.
No, that's why there's no liberals rioting when he won.
Right?
Okay.
I didn't hear you.
After the fact, when we know that there were people who are like child abusers who did beat up cops on January 6th, and Trump gave them pardons, and you can Google January 6th predators. There's a few dozen that went back to go, abuse kids again. Trump pardoned these people who beat up cops, and some of them got killed by police after being pardoned because they're criminals. And they got into other legal issues. You can Google that as well, like January 6ers that are in jail again already. Trump pardoned all of those people, called them heroes, and he called the Capitol police officers who got their skulls bashed in. Not all of them died on that day, but they had traumatic brain injuries. A couple died.
Name one person that got their skull bashed in. Because the only thing...
Bannone and Hodges were the two names. They had concussions and traumatic brain injuries. Hey, please, dude.
But there was also
bro, you can see the videos of them getting knocked in with lead pipes in their heads. You can watch the videos right now if you look it up.
No way, dude. I would love for you to show that.
I have the videos right now. I have the videos on the screen. I have the videos on the screen right now.
Pop it where somebody's getting their head bashed in because
the video's on the screen. The video's on the screen. The video's on the screen. It's on the screen. It's on the screen. It's on the screen. You're like a wind-up toy. And where's the other one at?
Go back to the one. Go back to it.
So for this one, they said we got one as they were punching him on the ground. There's a few others with riot shields. There's one up here. I think it's up here. Yeah, so there was a cop. So they got a cop. They said we got one. They pinned him to the ground. And this guy brought an American flag over and started whacking him with the American flag pole right in the head. So this is one of them, if you want proof of one of them. But there's a million videos from this day where you can see cops getting the shit beat out of them.
What about the pipe bomber that put the pipe bombs down?
Don't,
what about him?
Bro, okay, do you not believe that cops were injured on this day?
I do not believe cops were injured on this day. I know that there was a book that was put out from one of the security guys that was in there, one of the officers, and it was also debunked in Congress if you watch the whole hearing.
So you don't believe any officers were hurt on January 6th? You think they're all actors?
No, I don't believe they're all actors. I believe no one was hurt. There was one person that actually died after the fact that had nothing to do with it.
Multiple died from suicide too, from PTSD and traumatic brain injury and strokes and everything after getting beat up. But okay. If you just don't believe it, I mean, if you just don't believe it, it's nothing I could do to change your beliefs. It's a belief. So
I believe, just like Abraham Lincoln, what party was he?
Well, at the time, he would have been a Democrat.
What does that mean? Like,
because he was pro central government union, so the parties had different points, different positions at different times. So, like, you know how the
parties of people.
Yeah. So, like the KKK. So the KKK started as Democrats, but now they're Republicans. They switched. So yeah, parties changed over time. Yeah. But yeah, Democrats did start the KKK.
All of a sudden, this has changed, and the Democrats aren't the KKK anymore.
It wasn't all of a sudden.
To divide people and separate by gender and religion and everything else. But no, they're not.
That is part of it. Like FDR had a big coalition of Dixiecrats, Southern Democrats, and like Northern Democrats. But the Dixiecrats down south were really anti-black. So that coalition for Democrats kind of fell apart with the civil rights movement, because Democrats ended up being the more pro-civil rights party. So the anti-black voter base had to flee Democrats and go to the Republicans when LBJ was able to get that done. So all the KKK left the Democratic Party once Democrats passed civil rights for black people.
You said
but yeah, they used to be Democrats. Southern Dixiecrats used to be Democrats, but then Southern Dixiecrats became Republicans because they were mad about the civil rights stuff.
I don't understand how you could justify the fact that they created the KKK, that Abraham Lincoln was a Republican and he was the one person that tried to free the slaves and he got shot. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't them. They changed parties. They not changed parties, but they changed the way their thoughts were. Like, it's.
Yeah, but do you understand what I'm saying though? Like, why that would happen?
The civil rights movement. They were also the people that voted against the women's right to vote. So.
Yeah,
you're saying you agree.
The parties were different back then. Back then, there was no like national media. So Republicans in New York were very different from Republicans in like South Carolina, but they both would vote for like their party for different reasons. So FDR worked with Southern Democrats to build their infrastructure out. He promised he wouldn't really push for civil rights down there. And then FDR worked with Northern Democrats on different issues as well. But Democrats all supported FDR. FDR won like every single state almost, and he was going to run for like 10 terms if he didn't die. But after that, the races became more national. They became separated along different lines. So yeah, you used to have like like right now you have Republicans who are anti BLM, but they're pro universal healthcare and pro like infrastructure spending. And you'll have Democrats who are pro BLM and they're also pro infrastructure spending. Back then, that wasn't really a thing yet because civil rights weren't involved. So everybody who was pro infrastructure and pro New Deal could work together without having like social issues divide them. But then social issues became a thing. And then, Republicans ended up becoming like the KKK became Republicans. They are today, like Republicans or the KKK do vote Republican today. And so do like neo-Nazis.
What is your proof to back that up? Because really what you're saying is like, this is a facade. It never happened. It did
happen.
I understand that the Democrats, hold on just a second. The Democrats voted KKK. They brought in the KKK. They also voted against the women's rights movement. The Republicans actually voted against slavery, and he got shot for it, Abraham Lincoln. But all of a sudden, it's a facade. It never happened. It switched. There's some.
It
kind
was
of
really
switch that
interesting.
happened.
It was interesting. It was a mix of parties though. Like these bills right now, things might pass with like 50 Republican votes and 0 Democrat votes. But back then, you'd get a mix. You'd get like 50 Democrat votes and 20 Republican votes because, like I said, the parties were not the same as they are now. It did not mean like if you're a Democrat or a Republican, you believe those exact beliefs. Like you were Democrats and Republicans in a bunch of different areas for different reasons. It was just a different world back then.
So what is the correlation of that when you see a bunch of Democrats who sit there and they demonize the white people? Is that considered racism?
But do you see why, like, if Democrats started the KKK,
racism?
If somebody hates white people for being white, yeah, you're prejudiced against white people, yeah.
Okay, would you consider the Democrats being prejudiced against white people then?
I thought they were a party of the KKK. You got to pick one.
But that's my whole thing when I talk about projecting.
So they're pro KKK and anti-white. That's interesting.
No, they project. Here's the whole thing. You accuse the Republican Party of what you're actually doing. That's why we see all this fraud of billions of dollars in Minnesota right now. And they're allowing it to happen. The corruption, which
no, they're prosecuting it.
Laptop and all this stuff.
They're prosecuting the fraud. Do you know Sean Ryan? The podcast?
No.
Look up the Sean Ryan show. He's a former Navy SEAL and a former special operations coordinator, I believe. Sean Ryan interviewed Hunter Biden a few days ago. He's more of like a right-wing podcaster, but you might be, I think you might have a slightly different opinion on the Hunter Biden stuff. And this is a right-winger. He voted Trump. He's a Trump guy. But it's like it's a 5-hour podcast, so it's a pretty big watch. But if you break it up into pieces, if you want to learn more about the Hunter Biden laptop, he answers your questions there, or about Burisma and all that stuff. Definitely recommend that. That Sean Ryan.
That laptop exists.
The information on it did, but there was never like a laptop that Hunter Biden uploaded all of his information on. But there was a laptop with information on it, uploaded from the internet, like hacked files.
And there were videos, there were pictures, there were a lot of things.
The videos and pictures are real.
Have you ever heard of the Red Dragon?
Okay. 1 second. What was the main question? I'm sorry. I got to go to bed, so I have to remember what the conversation was about. You brought up the Somali fraud. Okay. Just about the Somali fraud really quick. That is being prosecuted. They are trying to hold people accountable. If you look up Joseph Schwartz, okay, so you can, if you want to say Democrats are bad, whatever, you can have that opinion. Like they're not good at finding fraud, but they are prosecuting it. Biden, the Somali fraud investigation actually began under Biden. Biden is the one that started that. Trump is taking credit for it, but it started a few years ago. You can look it up. If you look up Joseph Schwartz, this is a guy who defrauded Medicaid with a bunch of nursing homes and a bunch of other things. So he defrauded government programs. He donated to Trump's campaign, and Trump gave him a full pardon. So you could say whatever about the Somali stuff. They are being prosecuted by Democrats. Democrats are not giving them pardons. Biden went after them.
Biden, but yet the only time something happens is when it's under Trump, and Nick Shirley actually went out there. So that's odd to me that all of a sudden something's happening now, just like the border was. Yeah, we need to pass all these laws to have the border. We need Republicans to step in there, and it didn't require no law.
The Somali fraud case you hear about, that investigation that began under Biden. It's been a few years of investigation. Like the Nick Shirley stuff did not touch that whatsoever. He just went in front of places and like harassed people and like said, "Where are the kids at?" But like the actual the billions of dollars you hear about, the billions of dollars were from Biden indictments, like under the Biden DOJ.
and now Trump is still doing it, and he's taking credit for it. But you can look it up. You can Google Somali fraud case, billions of dollars, and look up when it started. It started under Biden.
So I'm going to say one thing. To accept that Biden, in his cognitive status, which everybody agreed at first, everybody was like he was on point, but then after he was out of office, you seen CNN, CSNBC, MSNBC, you see all these people say that his cognitive status wasn't there after he was out, and we're saying that he actually did something about it. Now, what about Tim?
No,
Walz?
his
Tim
administration
Walz was there,
did.
He didn't do nothing about it.
Well, those are
final
all
thing is,
federal.
how
These
do
are
we
federal
get-
cases.
How do we get Democrats and Republicans on the same page? Because I feel like the government wants to divide us. They want to keep us against each other because then we're not focusing on what they're doing. So a question to you is, what would you do to get us together?
I agree with
Other than
you
us having our
about that,
discourse,
right? I agree with that. My big thing. Okay, so like I agree that corruption is an issue. I agree corruption is an issue. But the Trump administration right now, they say there's a Somali problem in America. I would say there's a corruption problem. But then you look up Joseph Schwartz. If you donate to Trump, he'll give you a pardon. I want everyone to care about all corruption. The thing about the Somali thing is not that there's Somalis involved or whatever, which is all they're talking about. I want to talk about all corruption, but they talk about Somalis in Minnesota, so we don't talk about all corruption. Somali immigrants make up, out of every 1,400 Americans, you'll find one Somali immigrant. They make up like 0.08% of the population, but they're all that's in the news cycle. And meanwhile, we're not talking at all about the people Trump is pardoning. So Trump, like Biden prosecuted these Somalis. Trump is giving a pardon to them. Biden put new rules into play where his administration officials could not take foreign gifts and take bribes. Donald Trump is allowing them to take bribes again.
Somali?
You can look that up. What was that?
I just want to, just for clarification, you're saying that Trump pardoned Somalis?
No, he pardoned other criminals, but he's only focusing on this one because he's focusing on the Somali part of this, weaponizing the culture war part of it. And instead of, because if we were talking about all corruption, we're on board with that, but we don't like when people are like, oh, this is a Somali problem. Now we have to go raid Somali communities. Because no, it's a corruption problem. It doesn't matter like where someone's from. It's a corruption problem.
Well,
but if you donate to Trump, then he'll pardon you.
I mean, when you're talking about that much fraud, and there are multiple videos of Somalis getting online, and they're saying that we're doing this to you and we don't care.
But those are jokes, though. A lot of them are jokes.
You're seeing other people, you're seeing other people shut down their business because of it. I believe we should not, as Americans, have to pay all those taxes for people. I pay taxes every day, and I don't want to pay taxes for someone who doesn't need it, who are abusing it. And I really feel like our borders are now secure, and they should have been secure a long time ago, and they had every tool to do it. Why is it racist to secure the border? I mean, you have a door at home, you put a lock on it. We have a fence in our backyard. We have a fence because
it's
works.
not racist. The racist part is when Donald Trump pardons a man named Joseph Schwartz who defrauded Medicaid, and no one in MAGA talks about it. He set a guy free who defrauded Medicaid, but now, after Joe Biden opened an investigation in Minnesota that involved a couple of Somalis, now they're only focusing on attacking Somali immigrants. So when it's corruption, like if you if you can Google Joseph Schwartz and look at the pardon Trump gave him, or look up the CEO of Binance, who Trump profits from directly, Trump giving him a pardon. He laundered money for child abusers, the CEO of Binance. If I heard Trumpers complaining about those pardons he did, I would believe you that you care about corruption, because Joseph Schwartz defrauded our Medicaid dollars. Okay, but if you're only focusing on the Somalis, when Trump set fraudsters free, okay, but all we talk about are Somalis because they want to be.
I'm not a MAGA.
That's the racist.
I'm not.
I
don't wear a jersey.
Yeah, but this is what I'm talking about. What we pay attention to. That's what I would call racist about it. That's one example where they're focusing on these people just because they're Somali, not because they care about corruption. You know, that's one example.
But
I'm tired too, so you can
I
call
mean,
in again another
if
night.
you,
I don't want to keep on. You know, I'm
I mean,
not in the
if
best.
it
You know.
walks like a duck, if it's corrupt, we need to take care of it. And if 78% to or more are benefiting off the government and not providing to America, then they're probably a problem, right? Would you agree? If the stats are that many people who are Somali, and I don't care who you are, I don't care if you're white, I don't care if you're black, I don't care what gender, color, race, religion you're from. If you're living off the government and you're not participating to help our country, you're a problem, right?
I think there should be a minimum standard for anybody in America of survival. Even if somebody doesn't quote unquote contribute, I don't think someone should go without food or shelter, like that kind of thing. Not that's gonna be luxurious, but especially like
pardoning, as much as Joe Biden had pardoned, he pardoned his son, he pardoned Fauci, he pardoned all these other people. I mean, Obama pardoned a bunch of people. I mean, we're gonna pardon. It don't matter what president, they're gonna pardon people. But I feel like I want America to be stronger. I don't want to wear a jersey. I want to be that guy that says, I want America to be the best it could possibly be. And people are so afraid to say, make America great again. But that's really what we want. There is no American that could sit here and say that they don't want to make America great again.
I mean, I don't say that because I think it's a given.
America the best it can be.
But you don't got to say that as a brand if you really care about it. Like right now, Trump is spending money in foreign countries. He's spending money on enriching his friends. Trump made $4 billion this year alone on the presidency, and we're not going to get anywhere in America if we can't separate these issues and focus in on them. Like if we're going to live in different realities.
Did he make $4 billion on? And then, you know, he even had a debate with Hillary Clinton where he was like, if you don't like it, change the law. But you're not going to change the law because that is what your donors benefit off of. You know,
yeah, but he's like mega corrupt. Like Trump is more corrupt
towards donors with Ilhan
No,
Omar
but like that's the thing though.
Tim
Like
Walz.
for like food stamps, for example, 98% of the people on food stamps either have kids, they have a disability, or they're on a strict working requirement. If you don't have like a kid or a disability or whatever, you're on a strict working requirement already. The levels of fraud in Medicaid are so small, so tiny, and even if there is fraud, the Medicaid dollars the Medicaid fraud is done by big corporations. Look up Rick Scott, Republican senator from Florida.
Do you think there should be parameters on that?
There are
Like,
parameters on it. Yeah. This is a good example. Look up. We could if you call it again another time. Look up Rick Scott and Medicaid fraud, and look up how much money he made from his company's Medicaid fraud.
Well,
those are the fraudsters.
Been on welfare and things.
But he's
like
a Republican
that for
senator.
20+ years.
No, but he's a Republican senator who defrauded Medicaid and made millions off of it. He's a Republican senator, not a random person. And I don't care about some random person buying a bag of Doritos at the store. I care about fraudsters and bankers corrupting and Trump pardoned the CEO of Binance who laundered money for terrorists and child abusers. And Trump made money off it with his company World Liberty Financial.
Do you feel like Democrats are doing the same thing?
There are some that are, but
like
Trump is the king of corruption. Like take Nancy Pelosi would need to live 50 lifetimes to equal Trump's money that he made in 1 year this year in his cryptocurrency from using his crypto with foreign countries and stuff. But hey, I appreciate the call. I'm getting too tired for this, so I got to go to bed, but I do appreciate the call.
Hey, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, man. You know,
definitely.
Conversation is what helps people grow, and that's how we get past it. You know, it's not about being violent. It's not about causing any kind of political violence or death or anything. It's about people being able to sit down and actually have that discord. And that's something that's lost in America today, and I appreciate your time.
Yeah, I appreciate your time as well. And yeah, like I said, feel free to call in again sometime. It's all just random who I decide to answer. So no guarantees, but yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good night.
You too.
All right, peace. All right, guys. I need to get an editor of some kind. I cannot keep track of all these videos I'm recording. I cannot keep track of it. I just can't handle it. There's so much content. Thank you so much for all the support, guys. And thank you for $5 L. Thank you for $5 L. I really appreciate it. This stream tonight, we've had such a good return. 5 days. It's actually kind of crazy how good it's been. So I really appreciate it. 250 likes, guys. 250 likes. We're gonna hop off for tonight. I don't want to burn myself out at all. But yeah, join Discord. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you for watching. If you donate, Corey, happy birthday. I did Kate. Corey, happy birthday. Wish you a Merry Christmas. Wish you a Merry Christmas and a happy birthday. Happy birthday. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Corey. There you go. Thank you for the donation. Oh man. Yeah, I was at 1,000 for a second. We've had a good week. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. WW. Join Discord, guys. Cool gang in Discord talking. Appreciate all of you. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. I'm making sure I cut the stream off early enough so I don't. When I was doing the 5-hour streams, I couldn't do it consistently because I was getting too exhausted. So I'm being a good boy. Okay. Have a good night, guys. Thank you. Wait, Cash App. $5 MP. Thank you, MP. Thank you, MP, for $5. Thank you so much. What a great present before bed. If anyone else donates, I'm not going to see it. Okay. I'm cutting the stream off. All right. I'll say thank you tomorrow if I see you. Have a great night. I really appreciate it. I super appreciate it. It's been a really great week. And let's keep it going. All right, guys. Have a good night.